that grand old flag is a high-flying flag. It's the emblem for you and me. It's the emblem of the team I love, the team of the old double blue. Every heart beats true for the old double blue as we sing this song to you. What do we sing? Good old acquaintance, please forgot. Keep your eye on the old double blue. It's a grand old flag, it's a high-flying flag. It's the emblem for me and me. It's the emblem of the team I love, the team of the old double blue. Every heart beats true for the old double blue as we sing this song to you. What do we sing? Good old acquaintance, please forgot. Keep your eye on the old double blue.
Yeah, 76, I guess, was a special year for a number of reasons, and in leading up to the final round, or the major finals round, it hadn't been necessarily our best season. It had been up and down. We'd had our moments where things didn't go all that smoothly, and in fact, and it is testing my memory enormously, but the last home and away game, or mine round game, I guess as we call it over here, I can recall that we were beaten by Glenelg by something like 15 goals.
Rick, we're just talking about the whole finals campaign and the lead up to the grand final, and how, even though the club finished fairly well positioned at the end of the minor round, we faltered a little bit right at the end. You know, we lost to Glenelg.
By 15.
By at least 15.
And then we came back and won the next game.
Well, we came back against... No, we didn't. No, we lost the next game, which was the qualifying final against the Bays. We got close, but they beat us again, and then we came up against Norwood, and that was the first semi, which was the start of the knockout games.
Yeah.
And that's where the pressure really
we won
was
by
on.
10
points. No, we won.
Points.
No, we won by about, I think it was about 15 points in the end, but we were 6 goals down at half time, looking right down not only one barrel but both barrels.
See, I can only remember the grand final.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Well, I can remember a few of these lead-up matches, and I can always remember.
And I can remember the Glenelg game.
We won by 7 points. I remember
Yeah,
that.
and we
after being 4 goals down halfway through the last quarter,
and Fred Phillips having a kick from point blank range and missing, and giving us half a chance.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
and then we bounced.
How did you find getting to the Oval, Rick?
Oh, it was shocking, wasn't it? Because the crowd, I remember we were about 1.5 miles away, and I looked behind, Robbie Barton was there, I looked to the side, Mick Nunan and Bruce Winter were there, so we said, hey, well, we got to run. So we stopped the cars, the wives took over, and they decided to drive.
Yeah.
And we ran around just to make the meeting at 1:30.
Yeah.
But a huge crowd, what, 66,000 people?
So they say, but they'd knocked the fences down, there could have been more.
Yeah.
But it was quite a good sight to see when you ran out, all the people lined up around, sitting on the concrete barriers. It made the Oval look a lot smaller, and people right next to you.
I don't know what they thought they were going to do with the people, but they let them out onto the ground. And what did they think they were going to do? Let them over the fence? Because no one was moving. You weren't going to let anyone get over the fence from sitting behind the fence, and the people inside, well, they weren't keen to move either.
Yeah, it was certainly a spectacle, that's for sure.
The aspect of the injustice that Port Adelaide losing has been said to me by somebody who probably knows that Jack orchestrated all that business himself, as he was a employee of the News. He got the particular writer to organise it, and wouldn't surprise me because he was pretty cagey in that sort of area, and that could quite well have happened. But it was if it was a pretty smart move.
Well, I never ever picked it up because I remember him being furious up at the meeting in the Blue Room on the Friday night.
He's a good actor.
He's a good.
He was buzzing around like a little bee, and he basically had it blown up the back of the News. I can still see it as if it was yesterday. Injustice of Port lose, and he had it all blown up, and it was very, very busy. So if he did that,
Yeah.
He was a better actor than Robert Redford.
Mate, he would have played Spencer Tracy on a break. Very old Jack. He certainly had a way to get through to the players that what we're about to embark on was fairly important.
And Jack was always very much in control, and he actually just ran through the team's player-by-player potential matchups and highlighted the inexperience of the Port Adelaide team, who had been the side to beat. Just quoted the experience, the finals experience, a number of games played of each player on a position, matchup by matchup situation. By the end of his address, we were ready to run through the walls. There was no way known that we were ever going to lose that game, and that was the strength of Jack's preparation on the Friday night, and we just couldn't wait to get to the game. I mean, it was really just being another 18 hours away, it was just too far away. We all wanted to be out there playing, and that was the attitude that was taken out onto the field on the Saturday.
Now tell us, Rick, during that first quarter, when we'd lost the toss and we were kicking into a bit of a breeze, that you were sort of down there playing full back all the bloody time. What was that all about?
Well, in the ruck, and I know that David Edwards tells a very, very good story about just go down and ask Rick what he is doing down there. But the ball happened to be, as you mentioned, there was a bit of a breeze. And I was just playing that kick behind the play, and it happened to be down on that last line of defence, as Jack used to say. And he was a great one, wasn't he? Let's not defend. Let's not match up. Let's just get hold of the footy and always attack. And,
well, that's right.
And a couple of times, and I was one out with nobody down there. And of course, if you were the back playing ruckman for Port Adelaide, well, you wouldn't have been down in that spot. No. You'd have been out on the outer side. And of course, I drifted down there and happened to be one out by myself. So I was lucky enough to take a few grabs, and that was the real reason, just following the footy.
It was a very smart move, Rick. We certainly weren't intending on trying to be about 6 goals down at quarter time.
No, he was playing a kick behind the game, and the ball wasn't going any further out than our centre half back.
Exactly right.
So we had to be down there.
So we were certainly under a certain degree of pressure in that first quarter, because Port were fairly keen.
I felt that we'd played in the final series. Up till then we'd played only ordinary football, and that day, after a while, all the players really increased in their confidence, and they played to the best of their ability. And I felt that our best footy was good enough to win on the day, and it certainly was, as it turned out. But Rick played very well, and there was a number of other players who played very well, and just the general team performance by the players was top notch.
I would have thought that after the first quarter that we were looking a little bit down the barrel, as you mentioned, Sands, but after that I didn't think we had a passenger. I didn't think there was one player, and I can remember so many different plays, like Snakes Miles' run down the outer side. The ball was over the top of your head at one particular, and you put up one hand and just went straight to ground, and the ball just sort of followed. And Klomp had centre half forward, like everybody, all over the ground. When we started to get in front, our confidence, as Bags said, just went sky high, and everyone said, hey, we're with a big chance here, and we didn't look back. Like Johnny Murphy's run into the open goal there when he builded it over the top of the pack. You can just sort of sit back, and many, many good plays after that first quarter.
I believe Port actually kicked with the wind in the first quarter. It was quite a strong breeze, and we held them to either a couple of goals and kicked one ourselves. So we were only about 3 points down, or 4 or 5 points down at the end of the first quarter, and the players themselves didn't say a lot about it, but instinctively we knew we had them. They really struggled, and we were just operating so well as a team, and the game just improved from there, and actually won by just under 7 goals. And it was just such a tremendous team effort, where the players read each other so well and used the ball extremely well. Who could, forget Rick's fantastic day? It'd have to be sort of the match of the century as an individual contest in a grand final, when he took close on 20 marks and just marked everything in sight. John Murphy, who was also an integral part of the win, who just ran riot, and considering he'd been out with a groin injury for half the season, was just such a strong leader, and set such a great example for all the players, and it just you could go through the whole side and everybody contributed and did all the tough things that need to be there to win grand finals.
Yeah, well, Port Adelaide certainly showed their spirit in that third quarter. I don't know if you recall, where I think we blew out to over 30 points in front there, and then they came back and got to within about 15 points. And I think from that point on, we knew that we really had to pull out all stops, which is what we did. And in that last quarter, I think we really sort of took control and just ran away with the game.
Yeah, I remember.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I remember taking a mark myself in the forward pocket with about 8 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go, and said, if I can kick this one, she's all over. And it was the most concentration I've ever put into it, kicking a goal, and put her through. And I said, Mick Nunan came up and said, yep, she's ours tonight, boys.
Yeah.
So, and that was that.
Of course, when you're looking at playing in the grand final, I suppose you can look back on it, but I remember and have since that day when Bags, the captain, got up onto the dais there and put the cup above his head, basically mentioned that it was the finest. And I remember it wasn't the greatest, it wasn't something else, it was the finest day in the history of the Sturt Footy Club. And that's lived until this day.
Well, it has, and I think that was really borne out by the fact that it was such a tough finals campaign.
Right, exactly.
For where we were at the end of the minor round to what we achieved over that 4 weeks was just something pretty special, I reckon.
We were down and out on many, many occasions.
Well, the blokes didn't sort of lose any faith though, and they all stuck together, and even though we had Greenslade and Winter and Pentonville all with injuries and out, we all held together, you know, and won out in the end, and that's why that 76 final is certainly pretty special to all of us anyway.
That's right.
Channel 7 at the 1976 Grand Final. A capacity plus crowd at Football Park to see umpire Des Foster in his first Grand Final. Bounce the ball, Port versus Sturt, and the first whistle of the match hasn't gone. Players searching for it in the middle of the ground, and finally umpire Foster will separate players. Unprecedented scenes here at Football Park. The crowd is so huge. Police have got people sitting inside the boundary line. Cunningham punches him into attack. Michael Graham back there, slips it across to Nelson. Nelson goes to the outer side to give his skipper the run of the ball. Bagshaw now swooping on it. The left foot kick going in towards Klomp on the half-forward line. Voigt back there as well. Klomp still searching for the ball. Gives away a long handball, but it's back in defence. It's Port Adelaide coming away now through Granger. Onto the boot of each. Beautifully smothered by Graham. Heavy bodywork going on there. Picked up quickly here by Barton. Put it in towards goal. And the first score of the 76 Grand Final is 1 point. And Graham is down on the ground. Flat as a pancake. Trainers running to him now, leaning over him. He hasn't moved a muscle. A sensation in the first half minute of the 1976 Grand Final. James kicks the ball off to the outer side. They fly. Bagshaw over the top. Has been paid to mark, and still Michael Graham has not moved a muscle. Ted Langridge.
Well, he was hit pretty hard by David Granger. Whether it was right, wrong or indifferent, who knows from up here. Des Foster had a good view. He must have been happy with it. But Bagshaw's taken a mark now, out on the half-forward flank, goes for the short kick in towards Klomp and Voigt, and Klomp takes the mark out, body Voigt, 30 to 40 metres out and straight in front. Well, as you said, Ian, what a sensational night. It's tension plus here at Football Park with this tremendous crowd. Klomp's kick on the way, he's pushed it offline, and once again, Sturt kick just the minor score, their second. 2 points only, Sturt. Port Adelaide yet to score. Max James again with a kick in. Comes grandstand side in front Murphy. Away from him by Kinnear. They prop and cop. Fisted away by Phillips. The ball hits the deck. Through comes Bergen. Taken the ground well. A good tackle. Chris Nat throws it out well. Gets it out wide there. And Port Adelaide through Port Police towards their half-forward flank. Hale. Drop, walk through, comes towards Howard, his short kick grabbed by Puflisha. Goes in towards the centre of the ground, Bagshaw in to spoil, but can't get there in time. The mark well taken by Brian Cunningham, breaks away, Bagshaw keeps at him, drags him up the ball, but played, holding the man. Plenty of tension, as one could well imagine. Graham's on his feet on the outer side of the ground, looking skywards at the moment. Ryan Cunningham's kick towards centre half forward. Nelson taken under the ball. The back of the pack. Not clear. Walk in there. Ridden into the ground. The free kick will go the way of Walk. About 40 metres out from goal. Everybody today all tensed up for this big one. Goes out wide searching for Bergen, but out of bounds on the right half forward flank for Port Adelaide.
A throw in the grand final in the first 3 minutes of the game. Up they fly. A throw in on the outer side. Russ leave it in there for Port Adelaide. Puts it back towards their half forward line, but in defence. The mark taken here by Casey. Play on is the call. Murphy throws out a long one towards centre wing. There Davies ducks the tackle. Throws out run again, but it's offline. Play on is the call. In they go towards the centre of the ground. Klomp in there. In comes Peter White. Down they go, and umpire Des Foster comes in to separate
Ian
play.
Day, it's testing time at Football Park in the 1976 Grand Final, and well it might be. What a tremendous tension there must be out there in the centre.
At the centre bounce once again. It's Murphy, the left foot kick going high towards Bergen at centre wing. In goes Eade. They go down the ground. Michael Graham with the ball. But a free kick has gone the way of Port Adelaide. To be taken by John Eade on the half back line. Eade plays on quickly towards the half forward line with a high one. They set themselves in that position. Cale over the top, but it's taken away by Casey. Casey finds Bergen at centre wing, throws himself at the ball and takes the mark, and has a chance now of putting Sturt into attack. Bergen just a check side of centre wing, drive towards their half forward line. Wild in that position now. 1-2 grab, play on his umpire Foster's call. The ball comes back to Nunan. Nunan slips it out to Wild, smothered off the boot. Now Barton with a chance. Oh, through they go strong. Barton still in there fighting for the ball. Swooped on it quickly by Russell Ebert. Back to Ebert it goes from James. They play on. The Port Adelaide champion puts them in towards the full forward over the head of Randall Gerlach, and it's taken away by Colin Casey.
Searches out wide. Bretton Miles out on the grandstand wing. A bounce doesn't favour. Kinnear tackled. Wide. In they go. Watman in over the top, and a free kick has been found. Which way? We're not quite sure. No, it's going the way of Kinnear. It surprises quite a few people. Tim Kinnear didn't even know he had it himself. Towards centre half forward it goes with a big pack set. Davies in the middle of the pack, paid the mark. Didn't have a big grab on it, and was paid the mark. Chris Nat in front, took the front posse. At about centre half back for Sturt. Port kicking with the breeze. Opening minutes and Sturt have scored 2 behinds. Port yet to score. Rick Davies, up the side of the boot. Not a good kick. Kinnear getting set. Miles knocks it away from that player. Bagshaw handles it. Ball holding the ball, and the free kick will go the way of Darryl Cale. Just backward of centre line, goes towards the half-forward line, smothered off the boot.
Mickey Nunan with a chance across to Miles, flanked here by Sanders. Miles goes down, has won the free kick, just the check side of centre wing. The veteran Sturt wingman to put the Blues into attack from that centre wing, kicks into the man. In there is Murphy. Murphy busts his way through the pack, puts a long one in towards the full forward area. Back there is James, worried all the way by Wild, worried off the ball. Wild doing it well. James won't give in defence, punches it away, but it's straight to Bergen. Bergen smothered off the boot. Great play by Fragamini. Coming out of defence, the back pocket player gets grabbed high and wins the free kick at centre half back. As Ted Langridge said, testing time in the 76 Grand Final. 2 points Sturt. Port Adelaide haven't scored. Out towards Bruce Light with the pace. Brendan Howard comes into the tackle, pushes him in the back, and umpire Foster gets the free kick to the Port Dasher on the half-forward line.
A lot of mistakes in tackling, Ian, but they must be forgiven. This must be a tremendously tense moment for all players concerned.
Big crowd roar as they kick towards the half-forward line. Back in defence, Davies towards Murphy, overruns the ball. Light in once again for the Magpies, pushes the ball out in front of him and has won the free kick. Bruce Light with his second free kick within about 1 minute. Finds in the centre of the ground, Watman clear. He's got a 10-metre break, sets himself, puts it up high in the air. Is this the first goal of the 76 final? Puts it straight through the middle. And more than 60,000 people vent their feelings. Eases the tension as the first goal is on the board. Adelaide 1, Sturt 2 points.
Watman's goal was a beauty. Bruce Light had the free kick out on the half-forward flank. He looked straight towards centre half-forward. The gap was made there by Port Adelaide. Robert Watman dropped in. The pass was spot on. Watman played on quickly and drove through a very important kick for Port Adelaide. 1 goal on the board to them, 2 points Sturt.
At the bounce, Davies and Nat Davies front position, aerial ping pong through comes Murphy, waiting for the ball is Watman, gets it onto his boot, Nelson getting underneath the ball, claims it at centre half back, quickly plays onto the outer side, gives the run to Michael Graham, gets a bad bounce, Bruce Light back there, slips over the handball to Eade, coming out of defence, Port Adelaide go to their half forward left flank, but there it's Ward, takes 1, 2, 3 grabs of wobbly old mark, but he's collected it at centre half back.
Nigel Walk looking for a lead. They go towards the outer side of the ground. Comes off the side of the boot. They mix it up in the middle. Comes to ground for Fleischer. Breaks away. Goes towards the forward pocket. Lauder out. Carries the ball in front of him. He's nearly bustled off it. Tim Evans makes good ground to get there. Slips. Hand pass into the open. Casey with a very clean handle of the ball. Along centre wing. Lloyd in front. He's upset. A free kick has been played by umpire Des Foster. He's going to be Tiggy Touchwood early. He's not letting this one going to get away from him. And the mark, or the free kick rather, taken by Phillips from the half-back flank towards Port Adelaide's half-forward line.
Through comes Michael Nunan, the ball towards the line. Players go over, the ball follows, but free kick, Mickey Nunan. The Sturt diminutive rover on the half-back right flank. What a wonderful player he's been for Sturt over the years. Can he help win another final for the Blues? Drives towards centre wing position. Krisnak comes in looking for the handball after he's taken the mark, but no player supporting him on that occasion. Goes back, elects to kick long, but the ball off the side of his boot towards the half-forward line. Gerlach, full mark, centre half-forward. The Port Adelaide champion full forward has taken it 60 metres out from goal. It's a long kick, but the breeze is at his back. And perhaps Port Adelaide can notch goal number 2. Randall Gerlach. Courage personified after that illness in the middle of the season. Heads towards the lake end of Football Park, gets in close to the man on the mark. I don't think he's going to make the distance. They set themselves in the square. Davies over the top, and the mark has been paid to Rick Davies. A big flight by the Sturt ruckman right on the edge of the square.
Breaks away quickly, has that characteristic bounce and drives out wide. Light in front, Bergen from behind. Off hands to Nunan. Couple of breakaway bounces, sets it up and goes long down the flank, looking for Graham. Graham gathers in, breaks away quickly, too much pace for Eade, drives in towards the goal square, the mark taken by Robert Barton, breaks away, snaps goalward and has put it through for full points to Sturt. Well, there we see Nunan to the flank to Graham, into the pocket to Barton, and a quick breakaway play. Sturt 1 goal 2, Port 1 goal, Ian Day.
Michael Graham was the instigator of that move when he got the ball.
Michael Nunan, you mean?
Sorry, yes, but I'm just saying when he got the ball, he ran away from the defending player, Ted. He had too much pace for John Eade, and he was bouncing the ball and actually gaining ground on Eade, who was chasing, got the ball to Barton in the pocket, and we've seen what he can do when he gets hold of that ball. He knows where the goals are.
Centre bounce again. Ferrier there with Sims. Straight into the back of Sims, and a free kick paid by Des Foster. Quick with the whistle today, and he's not going to let this game get out of control, and it's probably good umpiring with the tension that's on at the moment. Sims kick towards the forward line, comes off hands. Barton to Wild, out into the open. Phillips and Klomp. Klomp gathers in, straightens up, snaps towards the goal square. Into the open space it goes. Chris Nat off his hands. Carl Fragamini knocked back by Nat. Good football, Port Adelaide in the back line. Out towards the half-back flank, however, out of bounds on the full. Michael Graham to take the kick.
Graham well out from goal. Can Port Adelaide shrug off the lethargy or the lack of match practice over the last 4 weeks? If they can hold Sturt in this first quarter, they're in with a big chance. Even money bet finals all the time. Davies leads the race to the ball, has taken the mark. No, paid a push in the back. Rick Davies has it 45 metres out on a 60-degree angle. We saw Port Adelaide a little slow to start against the Bays last week, but after half-time they finished on strongly. But now, 12 minutes into the first quarter, Sturt with the opportunity through their champion ruckman Rick Davies. Tension plus on this player as he heads towards the golf course end. The crowd roars, the kick underway, going to be short. Tension too much perhaps, offline, out of bounds on the full, and the free kick.
Brian
like
Cunningham.
Gee, he's hard to pick up in the crowd there. Just look at the crowd there in the back of the screen. But it's Brian Cunningham down the outer side of Football Park.
The back sets again. Off hands it goes. Ball back towards Bergen. Free kick has been paid here. I'm not sure which way it's going. I think towards Sims. For what I cannot enlighten you, dear viewer.
Free kicks, Port Adelaide 8, Sturt 6.
Trevor Sims from that half-forward flank on the outer side of the ground. Right underneath the scoreboard. Sturt 1-2, Port a goal. A lethargic lead and a kick towards the pocket. Hard to score from there. Comes off hands. Grabbed by Graham. Burst his way clear. Into the open spot it goes. Phillips is there. The hand pass to Fragamini. Port Adelaide confident in defence. Down towards Kinnear. Back towards Fragamini. Taken out of it. This allows Murphy in. Straight shot for goal. And Murphy has hit the post. Sturt have missed it. 1 goal, 3 Sturt. 1 goal, Port Adelaide. What a tackle. What a bump that was of Robert Barton.
Carl Fragamini there had his hands on his head, Ted. He couldn't believe it. But as you said, Barton came from the clouds there and a beautiful tackle. The kick in now by James to the half-back flank. Murphy there, Kinnear. I thought that came off the hands of Murphy, but Kinnear has been paid the mark on the half-back line for the Magpies. 15 minutes into the first quarter of the 76 final. It's Kinnear who puts him up over the centre line, looking on the half-forward line for Granger, coming through light, but it's beautifully intercepted there by Sanders. Left puts it to the half-forward line, looking for the pace of Michael Graham. Sims is in there too, but Cunningham's dispossessed. But the free kick, no, it was Berrier. Out there towards centre wing. Granger unloaded, comes back away from his goal. Graham there, attacking player, and a free kick goes the way of Port Adelaide's David Granger on the half-back line. Granger now to the outer side, puts it high towards their half-forward line. They set themselves off the fingers. First in there attacking the ball is Watman, chases it towards the line. Hot on his hammer is Barton, but the ball across the line and out of bounds. Throw in half-forward right flank with Sturt. 1-3 leading Port, 1 goal, 15-16 minutes into the final.
Tap down, goes towards Barton. He was held, according to umpire Des Foster, on the half-back flank as he takes the kick. Not much movement up forward. 15 minutes gone on the first term. It's been tense, it's been hard. Everybody's suffering from it. Sims high, couldn't take the mark. The ball on the ground. Klomp pushed in the back. And it's John Eade who will take the free kick. Klomp, the offending player. Towards the centre it goes. Dropping back Cunningham. Takes the mark. Breakaway. The hand pass on for Fleischer. Drops it in low towards Evert. Evert tackle. Back towards Fleischer. Off the top of the pack again. Granger there. Gets it out into the open. He's under pressure for Miles. The ball lines up on the ground. Somebody goes out of the back. Miles in there. He's tackled high. No, the ball will be bounced at centre half forward for Port Adelaide. Des Foster with an absolute fireball on his hands, and he's doing well. 1-3 Sturt, 1 goal Port Adelaide.
The bounce on the Port Adelaide half-forward line. They fly. The ball comes down here towards Kinnear. Nowhere to go. Throws the ball away. Barton in left foot kick away. Free kick Kinnear at centre half-forward. Maybe just beyond the little fella's reach. He would be 55, 60 metres out from goal, but the breeze at his back, worth perhaps a couple of goals towards the lake end of Football Park. Kim Kinnear start to burn for Port Adelaide towards the end of the season. Gets it up towards goal. Won't make the list as they fly in the square. Off the fingers it comes. It's Casey to the rescue at Sturt. The left foot kick is going high to the outer side. Bergen there gets a bad bounce. Well supported on this occasion by Tony Lloyd. The left foot kick from the Sturt. Half-back flanker finds that centre wing. However, Robert Watman. Watman looking for the lead. Dummies the handball. Breaks onto the right foot. Puts the Magpies into attack. Up towards full forward again. They set themselves. A leap by Cunningham is not successful. Destroyed from behind. Gerlach in there. Handball away towards the player in Phillips. And what's he done? 1 point offline to the youngster. Phillips 1 point. Takes the Magpies now on to 1-1. Sturt 1-3. 2 points the difference. And we've played 17 minutes of the first quarter.
Colin Casey with the big job today of looking after Randall Gerlach up there in the goal square. Kicks to the outer side, in front Bagshaw. He's spoiled, the ball on the ground. Nobody can get it away cleanly. Finally it's Bagshaw who does bring it away. Klomp marks on the chest. The hand pass to Howard. Sturt into attack. Wild breaking towards the pocket. Howard waits and then kicks long. Over towards the pocket. James gets there first. Breaks away, has a run. Here goes the hand pass, not good, to Murphy. Murphy back into the open. Loose hand passing. Players under tension. Phillips there. Lies on the ball. Call play on. Wild's in there. His kick smothered off the boot. Oh, couldn't be out of bounds and the ball was smothered. Must have been.
No, Ted, I thought the ball came off his boot. I thought it just went straight off the side.
I was just about to applaud the smother of Max James there as he stopped it going towards the goal square. However, Max James taking the free kick up towards centre wing, grandstand side.
They set themselves. Over the top was Lauder in there, winding out of the pack. Barton nowhere to go, crashing his way through Nelson to Bagshaw, back to Nelson. Nelson to Miles. Miles at centre wing, loses his footing. Over the top they come, they smother him. Sims in there. In there also is Evans. They vie for it. In goes Barton with a heavy bodywork, crashing his way through his barrier on the left foot. Hooks it back into no man land. It's giving them the chase. Granger can't get the bounce of the ball. Through comes Nigel Walk. Oh, has his Adams apple stretched and takes the mark from the half back line. A very high tackle there by on Walk by Granger. And the Sturt back pocket player puts them now back towards their half forward line where the players get up high. Davies almost in the middle of the pack, takes the mark. Klomp played. Brendan Howard winds his way through, loses it to Kinnear. Kinnear, the left foot kick once again back towards the half forward line. Couldn't quite take it. There was Lloyd. They battle for the ball on the ground. They go. Evans in there. Lauder well. Over the top they come. And I would think a free kick would have to go the way of Port Adelaide's Evans. Tim Evans, 55 metres out from goal. A chance for the Magpies. Tim Evans, normally a strong kick, played a lot of his early football for Port Adelaide at full forward. Heading towards the lake, Breeze behind him, kick underway now, it's going to be close, might be right on the line, touched there by Davies, and 1 point to the Magpies. Port Adelaide now move on to 1-2. Sturt 1-3. It's been a very tense opening to the 76 grand final, and we've played 19 minutes of it.
Colin Casey once again towards the outer side, goes short, but accepts the kick. Quickly gets around Cale, has a bounce away from defence, kicks towards centre half forward. No Sturt players there. Ball off the hands of White. Fragamini's hand pass loose. Howard tries to smash it clear. Graham in there. John Eade brings it away beautifully. Out towards Fragamini, towards the half forward line, over the top of the pack. Lloyd through. Well tackled, gets the hand pass in. Bergen goes short, looking for Barton there. Watman through, beautiful football, clean gather, drive towards goal, running back, well shepherded in the goal square. 2 goals, Robert Watman. And they're the 2 goals that Port Adelaide have kicked. Port Adelaide, 2 goals, 2. Sturt, 1 goal, 3. First quarter, you're watching it on the big replay of Channel 7.
Once again, we see the pace of Robert Watman. Intercepted the short kick out of defence by the Sturt defender, and he used his pace to perfection. But what a kick on the run, steadied himself, he was well clear, and that's the 2nd goal we've seen him boot from outside the half-forward line, and they are great goals for Port Adelaide early in this first quarter. As with the wind there, they're back, they're struggling to get a little bit of supremacy.
Bounce, Davies and Nat. Davies tapped to Howard, back to Davies. A wild kick out towards the wing, Graham and Eade. Graham gets hands first to the ball. Now he uses his pace, breaks away, drives towards the forward pocket. Wild and James. Wild just fails to drag it in, but the ball kept locked up in the forward pocket for Sturt.
It looks dangerous on the outer side there for Port Adelaide. Eade obviously hasn't got the pace to go with Graham in a one-on-one duel.
The ruckman gather. Nat and Wild. Nat grabs a clean one, throws it out one-handed. Bruce White brings it clear in towards the centre of the ground. Sanders from behind, can't take the mark, hits the deck. Miles, long hand pass back, finds Lloyd towards centre half forward. Bruce White's there, takes the mark, breaks away quickly, over towards the half forward line. Walk and Cunningham. Cunningham takes the good mark in front of Walk. Ryan Cunningham in towards the lead of Gerlach. They set Port players. Some confusion. Davies finds Bergen in trouble to Davies. Davies takes a head-high tackle. Portleisha through. Goes with the left foot in short. Cale out there. Also there's Sanders, and he runs the ball over the line. Throw in. Right half forward flank for Port Adelaide. 22-minute mark. 2-2 Port Adelaide. 1 goal, 3 Sturt.
At the throw-in, it's Davies versus Nat. Fighting for the ball in there even. Nunan over the top, Watman with the ball, umpire Foster in for the bounce. The bounce on the half-forward right flank. Port Adelaide into attack, leading at this stage by 5 points. At the bounce down, Nat makes front position, fisted in by Cunningham. In they go. The free kick has gone the way of Port Adelaide to be taken by Robert Watman. What a great first quarter this player's had. Watman would be almost outside his distance 5 kicks to his credit. This one's going to drop well short. Getting underneath it there is Gerlach, hooks it back over his shoulder. Umpire starting to make ground, and I would think 1 point is on the board to the Magpies. Gerlach indicating to Darryl Cale something there as he walked past that player. Got a point to Port Adelaide 2-3, Sturt 1-3. Ted, that breeze worth anything at all? Perhaps a goal or so?
Oh, I think the way Sturt have moved the ball into attack this quarter, Ian, Port Adelaide can do the same at the other end. There's a short kick in and a mark taken by Bergen. A timely mark. Because it could have been disastrous for Sturt. It wasn't a long kick in by Colin Casey. Bergen breaks away all straight into Bruce White, waiting arms, White on the left foot, snaps towards goal, and he's hit the post. That was about to go through the middle of the goal, Ian Day.
Yes, Ted, it was a floating kick. Light was on his left foot and it was wobbling around a fair bit, and it looked to be good, then just whizzed away at the last moment. But I think that's one apiece now. Sturt hit the post earlier in the quarter, and now Port Adelaide have repeated the issue.
Port Adelaide 2 goals for, Sturt 1-3. 7 points the difference, and Casey to kick in once again will go towards the outer flank.
Almost a nonchalant kick. He's got onto this one slightly. They fly on the outer side. The ball comes to ground. Cunningham uses his pace. He's in his pocket. Hooks it high in towards the square. Players gather, but the umpire rules out of bounds on the full. Brian Cunningham, one of the most dangerous players in the forward pocket, shooting for goal that you've ever seen. Left or right foot doesn't make any difference to the Port Adelaide star. But on that occasion, not equal to it. It's Lauder from the back pocket, goes to the outer side. Over the top, the big leap there by Evans. Fighting after the ball now. But a free kick has gone on. Oh, the strong man came up there, and I think he's lost the ball. Umpire Foster says no. And the free kick has gone the way of Bruce Light. Well, it's not often you see it go that way, Brucey Light. Light quickly plays on now in towards full forward. A great mark. Randall Gerlach, 20 metres out, right in front. Had to make 2 grabs, thought he was underneath the ball, and has a chance to put on the 3rd goal for Port Adelaide. Randall Gerlach, only about 25 metres out, kicking with the breeze to the northern end, gets in close to the man on the mark. Once again, not a good kick. The umpire gets plenty of exercise there as he gallops to his left to indicate 1 point to the Port Adelaide full forward.
Well, Port Adelaide, who are kicking with the breeze, they won the toss, kicked with the breeze, haven't perhaps taken advantage of their opportunities at the moment. They're 2 goals, 5, leading Sturt 1-3. We're in a time on. Port Adelaide traditionally kick a lot of their score during the time on period of quarters. Look at Davies, what a mark. Half-back flank as he took that. It was a big mark. Rick Davies, prominent player so far in this first quarter. Goes for the hand pass and finds Bergen. His kick in turn towards the half-forward line. Klomp, strong mark, strength personified as he breaks away. Kicks towards the forward line. Sims, very hard, both underneath it. James, look at the pace of this fellow. Breaks away, left boots it up towards the half-forward line. Watman got the pace, gets it up across towards Phillips. Searches up towards half-forward. Evans and Nelson both go to ground. Lauder's in there. And a free kick goes the way of Greg Phillips. Left forward pocket. The lead is on from Gerlach, but he elects to go long, starts to drop short, and there's a mark taken in defence by Nigel Ward. His kick is towards the grandstand flank. Lauder takes the mark in advance of Phillips. Still in the back pocket. 27 minutes played now in the first term, and Jeff Lauder kicks towards the grandstand wing. White in front, offhand. White gets a free kick just forward of centre. Ought to go back into attack.
White now from by the centre wing, drives in towards the half-forward line. The ball comes to ground. Paul Fisher in there, flanked however by Cale. Cale now hooks in towards the full forward area. It's all Sturt back there as Davies gets under the ball. Phillips in late. Davies takes the relieving mark in the full-back left pocket. Taking plenty of time as seconds tick away in this first quarter. Sturt kicking into the breeze. They're in no hurry at all. Rick Davies to the outer side of Football Park, uses the screw punt. Covers about 50 metres, starting to drop quickly. Bergen underneath the ball, keeps it just in play, throws it out in front of him. Howard back to Bergen, is good football, has to throw it out in front of him again and goes for the chase. Back there with him is Light, however. Quickly darting in on the ball was Watman. The play on is the call. Players set themselves right in over the top of Howard. Klomp there as well, and umpire Foster comes in to separate players, and a bounce down will take place at centre wing. 2-5 Port Adelaide, 1-3 Sturt. 3 minutes of time on in the first quarter. The bounce by umpire Des Foster, his first grand final before a crowd of well over 60,000. The players vie for the ball. Overrunning it there was Paul Pleasure, light in, but the ball once again trickles out of bounds.
Port Adelaide just in advance of the centre line as this throw-in takes place. Tap away, comes down towards Darryl Cale, screws to the left boot, Lloyd underneath it, couldn't take the mark, back with that player, gets the boot the ball quickly, in towards the half-forward line, all Port Adelaide, Fragamini with a good gather, runs into Klomp, now Barton goes in short and it's good football, finds even. Long hand pass, out towards Phillips. Phillips, he's tackled head high, and he gets a free kick just in advance of the centre. This is inconsistent umpiring, Ian.
How's that, Ted?
Well, there have been a lot of head-high tackles today that have gone unchecked, and all of a sudden this one does, and it's Phillips who takes it over half-forward, over the top of the pack. Hits the ground. Out comes Evans. In goes Lloyd. Evans keeps the ball running. Throws it to the ground, holding the ball. And a 15-metre penalty, which wastes time for Port Adelaide. 8 points the difference. 4 minutes of time on play in this first term.
Tony Lloyd, what a great game he played in the preliminary final last week. Best on ground, and there's the siren. Ends the first quarter here at Football Park. Port Adelaide kicking with the breeze, leads 2-5, 17 to Sturt's 1-3-9.
Hey, you know what GDD stands for?
GDD.
Graham Douglas Datsun.
GDD.
It's a place to go.
GDD.
Gonna give you satisfaction.
Graham Douglas Datsun are the people to know.
You know what GDD stands for? Great Datsun Deals. And that's exactly what Graham Douglas Datsun stands for too. Graham Douglas Datsun, Unley Road and North East Road, Windsor Gardens.
Port Adelaide 2-5 leads Sturt 1-3 as umpire Foster gets the second quarter underway. Sturt with the breeze at the backs in this quarter. Davies in there, the ball comes in back into the circle, players vying for it, and a free kick has been picked up and will go the way of the Port Adelaide rover in Brian Cunningham. Cunningham sets sail towards the half-forward line with a high kick, they fly. Ball comes to ground, in goes Nunan, overruns the ball, searching for it there is Phillips. Picked up, however, by Walk. On the hammer is Cale. Umpire Foster separates players. A bounce down half-forward left flank with Port Adelaide into attack. The breeze is not worth much. We saw in the first quarter that the team attacking into it could do it quite easily. Nat in front position. Towards the half-forward line, Phillips chasing it out there. The 17-year-old hooks it round with his left leg in towards full forward area. Up over the top, Casey there with Gerlach. Back in defence for Sturt is Nelson. Overruns the ball. Evans in as well. But once again we see umpire Des Foster come in to bounce, this time in the forward left pocket.
And plenty going on in the stand too, Ian. Looks like first fight of the football match in the stand. Tapped away, comes to Nunan. Goes around the flank. Out of bounds on the full. Yes, kicked by Port Adelaide out there. It will be taken by Tim Kinnear from the left half forward flank for Port Adelaide. Tim Kinnear going towards the golf course end now for Port Adelaide. They set. Big pack comes off hands. Walk tries to tap it away. Bagshaw tries to get clear. And umpire Des Foster decides to bounce. And about centre half forward for Port Adelaide. Davies and Nat. Davies tap, goes to Bagshaw, his kick away's loose, finds Kinnear, a quick transfer of play back towards the forward area for Port Adelaide. They set, thumped away by Casey, comes to Nelson, towards the centre of the ground it goes. Graham and Eade in front, Graham brings the ball to ground, White in, dispossessed, ball on the deck, kicked off the ground by Fragamini. Howard will be first there, has Bergen going past, finds that player, towards the half forward flank for Sturt it goes. Klomp comes through, Sims kicks in towards the open space in the forward line. Wild gets there and takes on the mark. Hand passes out wide. Graham straight into the open goal, sets it up and has put it through. Sturt score their second goal of the match and puts them 2 points behind Port Adelaide. fellow on the scoreboard's made a mistake. He's putting it up for Port Adelaide, but it'll be 2-5 Port, leading Sturt 2 goals 3.
Well, that was on the plate for Michael Graham. Good football there by Greg Wild, the big fellow, a makeshift full forward who did so well in the preliminary final last week to get 5, took the mark as he came galloping out from his goal and quickly realised that Graham was clear and let the fleet-footed one walk into the open goal for Sturt's second.
That Davies again in the centre, and it's Davies' tap away, but he's free kick for putting the hand into the back of Chris Nat. Centre of the ground it is. Port Adelaide have the ball. Chris Nat. A good kick too into the breeze. It carried. Punched away by Casey from behind. Comes to Cunningham. Nunan was there in attendance. Cunningham can't gather cleanly. Bustled off it, but it dropped short. Nelson. Hand pass to Nunan under pressure. Ball play on. Holding the ball, holding the man, I'm not sure.
Holding the ball against David Granger.
Phil Sanders to take the kick. Carries over the centre of the ground. White went high, couldn't quite complete it. On the ground, players pack up. There's Foster. I was going to say will bounce, but found a free kick to John Eade. For being tackled too high, goes out wide. Tim Evans there, spoiled by Nelson. Sanders, the hand pass, finds Miles. Screws the ball back towards the half-forward flank. Davies, not paid. Yes, is paid. Right half-forward flank. Didn't have a hell of a grab on that, did he?
Not a big one, Ted, but he's been paid. That's the important thing from Sturt's point of view.
Towards the forward pocket, Graham and Eade. Eade spoils well. The ball on the ground. Graham's pace and a balk. Now trouble, but kicks towards the goal square. Wild grabs it in. Very tight angle. The right forward pocket. Greg Wild with a big job today. James, who's been nearly the form full-back of the year as far as the competition goes. Greg Wild, a makeshift full forward, Ian Day mentioned just a few moments ago. He's not going to screw it back. Trying for the normal drop punt right across the face of goal, out of bounds on the full. Scores remain the same. Port Adelaide 2-5, Sturt 2-3.
White. Must have been a kick in by Berrier there. He's found White in the full-back right pocket. The Port Adelaide McGarry medalist of a couple of years ago drives back up towards the half-back line. This year's McGarry medalist must leave it in there. It's only Ebert's third kick. And the Port Adelaide champion gets the free on the half-back flank. Goes for the pass, was too far for Cunningham, gives Bagshaw the chance. Spoiled by Cunningham, play on is the call. Cunningham at centre wing in plenty of trouble. Snookered by 3 Sturt players, but umpire Foster quickly in on the scene and will bounce. The bounce down right at centre wing. Port Adelaide 2-5, Sturt 3. In ruck 4, Sturt will be Davies. Nat in front position, gets the flip away, but it's straight to Nelson, ducks the tackle, gives it across now to Howard. Howard boots a high one off the side of his boot somewhat. James has to charge his arm, but the bounce suits him, he loses it, still pushing it in front of him, has to break the tackle of Graham, throws it out in front of Murphy. Quick on the scene there is Phillips of Port Adelaide, the 2 number 13s together, but Phillips of Port Adelaide is too strong on this occasion and boots the ball up along the centre wing. But
been out of
meantime,
bounds, I think.
It's gone out of bounds back on that half-forward right flank. 2-5 Port, Sturt 2-3, 2 points to difference. We've played 5 minutes of the second term before the capacity crowd at Football Park.
So Wild out there on the ball, well out from goal. Bagshaw there tackled, ball held in, bounced by umpire Des Foster. Right half forward flank for Sturt. Both sides look sharp and pacey. Wild gets front position, tapped back towards Cale, he's taken off the ball. Big pack of players, nobody can get clear. Once again, there's Foster to bounce it. Still on this right half forward flank. Crowd very vocal, as well they might be. What a tremendous setting it is for a game like this. Comes towards Murphy, kick smothered. On the ground, big pack of players again. Through was Klomp, got it across to Bagshaw. Bagshaw to Miles, the ball back. On the left boot, goes short and finds Howard. Still on the right half forward flank. Port Adelaide defending grimly on this outer side flank. Howard's kick covers some ground up towards the forward line. The back of the pack, Verrier. There's a free kick being found and it goes the way of Max James. From full back, goes in short with a pass, puts Fragamini out of trouble. Sims with an intelligent knockback, finds Graham. Graham snaps towards the square. Wild is there, plays on, drives it through. There's a goal for Sturt. to Gregory Wild, the full forward for Sturt. Quick, intelligent play by Sims down to Graham. Graham snapped to the goal square, and a quick play on saw the ball go through. Ian Day.
It's not often you see the fine teamwork of James and Fragamini came unstuck. James won the free kick. He elected to handball to Fragamini. It was just short of that player, and the ball propped on him, put him under tremendous pressure, and you saw Sturt take advantage of it. James could have got the kick away, but he didn't have a player upfield to kick to, and he elected to handball. Came unstuck, and Sturt have hit the front 8 minutes into the second quarter of the grand final.
Verrier and Davies, Verrier's front position. Davies tap away. Kinnear throws it out. Howard elects to give ground to come towards Davies. Davies out wide, searches for Miles. Towards the half-forward flank. Klomp and White. Back towards Klomp, tears through. Hand passes out in front. Gets it clear. Oh, what a hand pass to Murphy. Murphy into the open goal. Drives in. Oh, Klomp's hand pass. Ian Day. I'll leave it to Ian Day.
Well, there you see skill personified. Robert Klomp down and out at centre half forward. Peter White over him like a gravel rash. An instant handball. It was a beauty to the veteran of the game. Murphy into the open goal. And Sturt have got number 4 on the board, and you don't get them any better than that. A fine passage of play. And Sturt look to be a little bit too slippery at the moment. They've got more players at the drop of the ball. As I mentioned earlier, Port Adelaide was slow to start this week, but last week, but they haven't proved anything at all this week. And only time will tell now as they trail Sturt 10 points, 9 minutes into the second quarter.
Centre bounce again. Tapped away by Davies. Through Ebert. Can't carry it clear. Kinnear. Well played. Gets out of the pack. Over half forward it goes. They set. Thumped away from Phillips. Hits the ground. Cunningham. Out wide. Looking towards Andy Paplisha. Out on that left half forward flank. Goes in short. Looking for and finding Brian Cunningham in that forward pocket. A very tight angle. Uses the left boot. In towards the forward pocket it goes. The big fellow set. Gerlach brings it to Brown. Gerlach 20 metres out from goal and straight in front. And should be a very quick reply from the Magpies. That aerial power up forward for Port Adelaide with Evans and Gerlach. Metres out. Randall Gerlach sets it up, kicks towards goal and makes no mistake. Listen to the Port Adelaide fans go wild. Randall Gerlach's first game goal for the game, and the difference 4 points only.
Well, that was a good one for Port Adelaide and a good one for Randall Gerlach. That'll get his confidence going. In the first quarter he missed a relatively easy one that he would normally swallow, but now the big fellow's got the first on the board. This is what Port Adelaide needs, and also, as I mentioned, will restore Gerlach's confidence. 4-3 the Blues, 3-5 Port Adelaide, 4 points the difference in favour of Sturt.
Centre bounce again, and it's Verrier and Davies. Tap goes the way of Ebert, quickly off to Cale. Look at Port Adelaide streaming to attack to Gerlach. Casey, good mark, Casey. Was going to spoil, had first hand of the ball. It's going to be a bounce. I gather he reckoned that Casey didn't have enough grasp on that ball first time.
I reckon he got second touch, Pat, Ted.
Fair enough. The ball back. Now Ebert with the mark from the kick away from the fence by Barton. Russell Ebert. The long kick towards the goal square it goes. They get set. No mark taken. Hits the ground. Brian Cunningham. Well shepherded. Snaps to the left boot. Back towards goal. What a good looking shot. The ball hits the deck. Finally forced away off hands. Just the 1 point. 3-6. Sturt. 4 goals, 3. 3 points the difference. Colin Casey, Sturt fullback to take the kick in. Would imagine straight down the ground, Ian.
Yes, he looks like he's going straight down, but it's dropping a little bit short. Nipping in there and taking the mark for Port Adelaide is big Tim Evans. The former Geelong player has got it about 55 metres out from goal, kicking into the breeze, won't make the distance, puts the drop punt away up towards full forward. Gerlach there, spoils the player in front of him, in defence. Sturt battling hard for the ball. On the ground, Nigel Walk, but umpire Foster once again will separate players for the bounce. The bounce down 25 metres out in front of the Port Adelaide goal as they trail by 3 points. Gerlach looks like he's going to jump for this ball with Davies, who makes front position, goes for the big fist out there, but it's given Cunningham the run of the ball. In the pocket they go, Walk in hot pursuit, Cunningham over the top. Poor Fleischer pulled off the ball, keeps on playing, but The free kick goes against poor Pleasure for holding the ball, I assume, Ted.
I think it was a high tackle. I'm not sure, Ian.
Well, I thought poor Pleasure was in front, but that's by the by. They drive back towards the outer side. Davies there, the juggling mark. And the big fellow is being a force for Sturt today. Quickly slips it across to Miles, who jams it onto his boot. They go to the half-forward line. Off the fingers it comes. In defence, it's Phillips showing a lot of pace. Comes round onto the left foot, hooks it back towards their half-forward line. Sanders there for Sturt, but the mark is claimed and paid once again to Rick Davies. Rick Davies, statistician for Stay, was mark number 9. 9 kicks and 6 marks for Rick Davies on the half-back line.
Over the centre line it goes. Drop short. Nunan. Put a hand pass instinctively, but decided to hold it. Now he looks for the lead. He gets it from Graham. He also gets it out in the pocket from Sims. Drop short. Nat comes off his hands, tapped away, hits the ground. Darryl Cale goes in short. Didn't quite direct it the way he'd like it. Puts it out in front of Kim Kinnear. He's tackled by Miles. Stops. Kinnear back onto it. Port Adelaide towards their half-forward line now. The big pack sets. Comes off hands. Davies to Graham. Not to Graham, to Howard. Howard across to Nelson. It stops. Oh, what a trap in by Nunan. Gets it out in front of Klomp. Klomp and White. Through is Nat. The hand pass is good. Deveria, he fumbles. He's stopped in his stride by Bergen. The ball on the ground and a bounce between centre and centre half forward for Sturt. 4 goals, 3 Sturt, leading Port 3 goals, 6.
The bounce down, about 20 metres from the centre circle. In Sturt's attacking division. Nat in front gets the tap down, but it's straight to Nunan. He slips out the hand pass. Nowhere in particular. White in defence for Port Adelaide. Puts it towards the outer side, but this will go out of bounds with Miles in futile chase of it, pursuit of it. 4-3 Sturt, 3-6 Port Adelaide. 3 points the difference. It's a low-scoring final as both teams struggle for supremacy. At the throw-in, even over the top, it comes down to Cale, back onto the right foot as he goes to their half-forward line, looking for Phillips there. Evans it was. The ball comes to ground. Cale backs up superbly, gets the kick away in towards the full forward right pocket. Cunningham doing battle there with Walk. Cunningham comes out with the ball pulled off it. Granger in there. Lloyd on his hammer, but the free kick has gone the way of Brian Cunningham, the Port Adelaide rover. Gets a lead into the pocket, looking for Darryl Cale. Too far for that player. On his hammer there is Walk, picked up in defence by Nelson, not Nelson, this is Lloyd. Taps it over to a teammate. Miles. Howard. Howard handballs to himself. The ball on the outer side there. Beautifully sidesteps the bump. Gives it across down to Bagshaw. One bounce. Sturt Adelaide. Sturt go into attack. In towards the forward pocket. Klomp in pursuit of the ball now. Right on the boundary line. Hooks it back looking for Wild. Hips him out of it. In there is Phillips. He throws himself on the ball. Player stacks on the mill and umpire Des Foster will come in and bounce and break up that promising Sturt attack. But it's only 15 metres out, right in front, and Sturt lead 4-3 to 3-6.
I think it's 15 minutes of time gone, Ian. The time clock's obscured by children up there on it. Good luck to them if they can get a look at it. Tap away, comes to Bagshaw, a snap at goal, sees the ball go through. Bagshaw's anticipation there was superb. I'm sure that was a Port Adelaide tap away from that ruck knock. 6 kicks to Paul Bagshaw. His first goal of the game, and Sturt 5-3, leading Port Adelaide 3-6, midway through the second term of Channel 7's Big Replay.
Well, there's no question at this stage of the game, Sturt have got more run in their legs. They've got more players at the drop of the ball, and they're playing the more methodical football. Port Adelaide in trouble across their half-forward line. The Sturt half-back line, Nelson, Lloyd, and on the other side, Bergen in fine form.
There's a good tap away by Nat towards Cunningham, but it was smothered. Came to Kinnear, another smother. Sims in on top of the ball. Players back up, and we're getting a lot of bounce downs today. And this is because the pressure of tackling is absolutely intense. It's almost impossible for players to break away cleanly with the ball. Sims and Nat. Nat and Sims neither get the break. White. Oh, didn't he get through that pack well? Now called play off. Ducks the head. Players go through hard. Taps away. Body's thrown in with reckless abandon. Comes to Felicia. Smothered by Miles. Comes to White. Tries to tear through. He's tackled. Comes to Light. He tries to tear through. Comes to Felicia. He's tackled. Called play on again. The ball on the deck. Now it's every man for himself as the ball comes clear. Finally, Murphy with a left footer towards half forward. The ball on the deck. Evades Phillips. Bagshaw there. Phillips in pursuit. Young versus old. Bagshaw taps it out in front of Klomp. Can he get clear? He does. Evades the tackle. Has a bounce. Runs in towards goal. Drives in towards the goal square. And has Put it through. Ian Day.
Well, Sturt going from strength to strength, and they're doing it beautifully. What a superb solo effort there from Robert Klomp at centre half forward. Backed up well by Bagshaw, who did the body work to get Phillips out of position. But Klomp, a superbly balanced player there as he strode towards goal from a 60-degree angle, and he puts number 6 on the board to the Blues, 6-3 to 3-6, and Port Adelaide not looking good at this stage.
15 points the difference, Sturt leads. Same number of scoring shots. Nat's tap away. Sims gets a free kick, but that going over the shoulder. I don't agree with it. Nat was under the drop of the ball. Sims came in underneath him. Over half forward it goes for Sturt on a lead. It was Davies. Back in towards Nunan. He slips. Ball on the ground. Cunningham dodges a head-high tackle. Players bounce up. Watman and here's another one. I wonder if this will be taken away from the Port Adelaide player after the free kick. No, it'll go the way of Cunningham.
Port Adelaide getting a little bit frustrated, perhaps, Ted, but
it's bad umpiring, Ian. The ball was taken away from Murphy in the first term. There we saw players doing exactly the same thing. It didn't happen. Confuses players, spectators alike. Cunningham towards the centre wing. Lauder there, can't break clear. Voigt there, the quick blow of the whistle. 6-3 Sturt, 3-6 Port. Bounce, Evans been giving a run on the ball. Nelson's fished away, grabbed by Evans towards the forward line. Back of the pack, Hale, goal coming up for the Magpies as he streams towards goal. Sets it up and has hit the post. Second time for Port Adelaide that they've hit the post in this game, this grand final of 1976.
Oh, what bad luck for Kale and Port Adelaide. They badly needed a lift.
I had that one written down, Ian.
Yes,
that was
they started to sag a little bit, and that would have lifted them back into it. A breather for Sturt.
Casey towards centre half back. Sims from behind Ebert, couldn't take the mark. Nunan, a long hand pass towards Miles. Ball on the ground. Port Adelaide through Ebert towards Kinnear. From the left half forward flank back towards centre half forward. Walk, a diving mark. He does that so often, Ian. The diving commitment to the ball. And he grabbed it in again. He's just behind half back as he takes the kick. Goes towards the right half forward flank for Sturt.
Bagshaw is the leaper. Klomp there, picks up the crumbs, gives it across to Graham, set him up, however, to Fragamini. Graham using his pace, but it's Voigt back there for the Magpies. Beautifully outrun by Graham. Graham in the pocket, heads towards the goal. I think he's got another one. What a magnificent goal to the Sturt flyer. The Black Flash. Bird off Peter Voigt to get goal number 2. And from the most acute angle, popped it through. And Sturt are doing it well in the 76 finals. The 3-7, you're with Channel 7 on the big replay.
What can you say, Sturt? Not doing it in the normal, skillful way that one associates with Sturt. The forward was paving the way. Graham playing a scintillating game on that half-forward flank. All in all, Port Adelaide under a bit of pressure at the moment.
Evans in ruck for Port Adelaide, but once again it's the irrepressible Sturt that go into attack. Coming to meet it is Berrier. He's in trouble quickly from Davies. Shrugs off the tackle, but runs into another one. A beautiful tackle by Klomp. Grabbed him, went to ground, and the Port Adelaide ruckman has been pinged for holding the ball. And Sturt, through the agency of Robert Klomp, has another opportunity from about 35 metres out, kicking towards the lake end. What a superb quarter as the bearded centre half forward from Sturt had. Chips away towards goal. I think this one's going offline fractionally. And only 1 point. Sturt winning the ball away from centre handsomely. Too quick for Port at the moment. Too methodical. 7-4, 3-7. We've played 22 minutes, I think. As Ted said earlier, a lot of young boys up sitting on the time clock, and it's very difficult to see the hand.
Max James with a short kick and then a longer one towards that outer half-back flank. From behind, Sims took the mark. Sturt taking control in the air at the moment, which perhaps surprises a few people. Towards the forward pocket, on the lead Davies, stumped away from him. To ground, it's Nunan. In towards Klomp. Klomp in towards too low for Murphy. Well picked up by Voigt, but it's going short. Bergen's there to take the mark in advance of Bruce Light.
Port Adelaide defence under immense pressure.
It's amazing me that Sturt are so quick to the ball in front of Port Adelaide, Ian. I would have expected it to be the other way around. Sturt have had a couple of very hard games.
Fifth kick, Bergen.
What has he done with it? He's hooked it too far back. He'll be lucky to score. Out of bounds on the full. No score, no change to the scoreboard. Sturt 7-4, Port Adelaide 3-7. Carl Fragamini to take the kick back into play. Perhaps a bit of sting gone out of the game. It was a tremendously testing first term as players took each other on. Tim Evans in front. This time he pulled the mark down in advance of Trevor Sims. Not too far in advance of the back pocket as he takes the kick. It goes in low. It's a raking kick. Even. Finger grab of the ball at the half-back flank. Goes towards the half-forward flank. Leading out there, Chris Knack. Can't get there. One hand gets it down towards Phillips. Back in towards Cunningham. Bruce Light uses strength to come through. He's bustled off it, however, by Lauder. And the ball over the boundary line. Bruce Light not impressed losing that ball. Throw in between the right half-forward flank and the right forward pocket for Port Adelaide. They're in attack. It's the 23-minute mark. Sims to Nunan, to Nelson, to Howard. Sturt move the ball towards their centre half forward line.
Bagshaw in front position, quickly in Barton for the crumbs, can't pick it up. Bagshaw searching for it with White, taps it out into the open, gives Fragamini the run of the ball, can't pick it up, overruns it. Barton there too. Quickly now Cale in for support, hooks it round towards centre wing. Light with the run of the ball, getting back on it well there. However, is Cunningham who takes the mark just the check side of centre wing. Plays on back, turns around Graham. The left foot kick is high, not well directed. Players set themselves, they fly at half forward line. In goes Nunan, can't pick up the ball. Adjust now for Cale. Cleary's got Evans. The handball goes out to that player. Jams it onto his boot in towards Gerlach. Leads to it. Can't quite get there. Traps it on the half body. Hooks it back. Getting underneath it is Phillips. Casey there as well. Who's going to read this one? One on one. Casey pushes Phillips away. Experience versus youth. Beautifully taps it over to a teammate in Walk who can't pick it up as he goes towards the line and forces it across. Out of bounds. Full forward left pocket. Port Adelaide almost into time on of the second quarter, dragging the chain by 21 points. At the throw-in, Lauder there. Up goes Gerlach. Straight down to Cale. Cale short passes, looking for Nat. Can't quite get there. In defence, it's taken away now by Sanders. Driven back towards the centre of the ground. White sets himself. Bagshaw over the top. Phillips in defence for Port Adelaide. Comes round onto the left leg. Short pass. Finds Kinnear. Probably not intelligently so, but it's the left handball out from Ebert. Quickly, it's Phillips once again. The short pass in towards the forward line and finds Darryl Cale once again.
Cale looks for the lead of Randall Gerlach. It's on. Casey's there, spalls it away, but pushed in the back as he did so, and Gerlach will get the free kick. Randall Gerlach has kicked 1 goal so far. Looking for his second now. Port Adelaide desperately coming back in the dying minutes of the second term. They kick towards the golf course end. The end not favoured by the breeze. David Edwards, the Sturt runner on the ground, delivering messages. Port Adelaide trainers out there in force also. Gerlach's kick on the way. The wind takes it across the face of goal. Sims up high but couldn't take it. Close to the line and Casey takes it across. A rush behind Port Adelaide sees them go to 3 goals 8. Normally their scoreboard would be the other way. 8 goals 3. 3-8 Port Adelaide. 7-4 Sturt. Casey towards the outer flank.
A great kick to the outer side. Sanders sets himself wide there with Davies, but it's Sanders' ball on the half-back right flank. The Sturt half-back flank and out to put them towards their half-forward line. Klomp sets himself over the back there. Chasing it is Phillips. Showing pace is Barton. Taps it out in front of him. Klomp for Sturt. Nowhere to go. Slips over the handball. It goes to Nunan. Nunan searching for in the pocket. Barton.
Oh, what a mark!
Defensive mark.
What a mark!
Peter White running with the fight of the ball. Pulled down the mark of a champion. Peter White steadying Port Adelaide down now as he looks for a lead upfield. There's none forthcoming. He's going straight back towards Murphy. He's going to have the run of it. Davies there as well on the big Sturt. Ruckman takes the mark on their half-forward line. Port Adelaide seems to be in trouble in ruck. Sturt controlling the aerial battles, and it's Davies once again who drops the ball back towards full forward. While on the lead over the top, James had the leap and has been paid the mark about 30 metres out from his goal. The Port Adelaide full back had an excellent season. Quickly hairs off, comes down towards the half-back flank on the grandstand side. Howard over the top of Ebert, trying to get away that smashed handball. It comes down to Evans. Off the fingers of Light, goes in underground looking for Phillips. He overruns the ball. Lauder getting back on it now, well shepherded by Lloyd. Lloyd on the left foot gives the handball. Bergen in support of him there. Back on the half back line, he's under pressure, but left foots it back towards the centre wing. Coming to meet the ball now is Evans in opposition to Howard. Tries to handball it away, but fumbles the ball over the line for a throw in grandstand side centre wing.
27-minute mark of the second term. Sturt lead by 20 points. The throw in, Evans gets a chance for a clean grab. Even again with a tap down towards Cunningham. Into the pocket. Chris Nat drops back. Takes the mark. As the goal square open for him. Goes in short. Oh! Intercept. Darryl Cale lost his footing at the vital moment. Nigel Walk handled the ball cleanly. Takes it, goes out looking towards Nelson. Nat in front. The ball thumped away from him. Players in their endeavours to get it, sporting each other. Barton gets foot the ball. Hit high by Light, and the free kick, is it?
Yes, against Light will go to Barton. Lloyd there having a few terse words to Bruce Light. The Sturt rover holding his head, just in a little bit of trouble at the moment, but he's won the free kick okay. Very groggy as he gets to his feet. And umpire Foster in command.
He's allowing the Sturt other player to have the kick.
Quite right.
An alternative kick by Philip Nelson. Goes over centre. Voigt from behind, but he misses it. Bagshaw, look at that long hand pass to Graham. Right on the chest. Graham streaks towards goal. Sets it up towards the goal square. James in the right position. Wild high in front of him. Didn't interfere with the player, and the ball out of bounds right forward pocket. Sturt in attack. 4 minutes into time on now. And it's Big Tim Evans gets it down, back towards Nunan. Nunan back towards Bagshaw. The snap at goal. Sees it go through, bounce through from behind. Sturt now moved to 7 goals, 5. Leading 4-3-8, 21 points the difference. James again with that characteristic short kick in, then the longer kick towards the grandstand flank.
Setting himself is Miles in front of Light. Bounces off the chest. The veteran chases it once again, but intercepts by Graham. The left foot kick looking for Klomp. Voigt there on his hammer, but he can't get it. Klomp, the handball set up to Barton, but Klomp using pace. Oh, runs towards the open goal, but not one of his better kicks. Off the side of the boot, through for a point. Robert Klomp giving Peter Voigt a torrid time at centre half forward. The short pass to Eade. Eade in the back line. Port Adelaide as they approach the big interval at half-time, trailing by 22 points. Off the foot of Eade, it comes back towards their half-back flank. Murphy sets himself in there as Light shrugs off the tackle, gives it to Paul Fleischer. He hasn't got into the game a lot today. Intercepted by Sturt, crashing his way through his Miles. Breaks onto the left leg. Sturt's go into attack again. Up towards full forward. Michael Graham there, but this time the mark not played. Oh, I thought that would have had to be Eade's mark, but it's Fragamini who repels the attack and finds Bruce Light on the half-back line.
Light with the ball, half-back flank. The crowd getting vocal as he goes towards Ferrier. Oh, gee, he propped with a hand pass. Kicked it, and there it is. Half-time interval. Port Adelaide, 3 goals, 8, 26 points, trailing Sturt. 7 goals, 6, 48 points by 22 points in the 1976 Grand Final.
Just about everything we buy today is affected by inflation. Prices rising all the time. I don't know how we'd eat or live as well as we do if we didn't find some way of saving. The missus does it with a Datsun 120Y Coupe. One of these recorded 49 miles per gallon in the total economy run, and we saved on its original cost with all the built-in extras. That's part of the reason why we still eat so well, and why Datsun sell more 4-cylinder 4 doors than anyone else in Australia, like my Datsun 180B Deluxe. The 180B GX recorded 40 miles per gallon in the total economy run. With a Datsun, you can really save at the petrol pump, on fuel and money. That's how we can still afford to play golf.
Datsun saves, 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 and sets you free. That sets you free.
Hey, you know what GDD stands for?
GDD.
Graham Douglas Datsun.
GDD.
It's a place to go.
GDD.
Gonna give you satisfaction.
Graham Douglas Datsun, other people do know.
You know what GDD stands for? Great Datsun Deals. And that's exactly what Graham Douglas Datsun stands for too. Graham Douglas Datsun, Unley Road and North East Road, Windsor Gardens.
Second half of the 1976 Grand Final. Sturt 7-6 lead, Port Adelaide 3-8 at the bounce. The ball comes towards Light. Light winds his way through the pack. Throws it over to Cunningham onto the left foot. The Port Adelaide Rover goes towards the half-forward line where they set themselves. Lauder over the top, spoils. In there is Nelson working the ball through the pack. He does it well. Comes out of defence to Davies. Davies, the long handball, looking for Brenton Miles. Will the ball sit for him as he chases it towards the line? It does so now as he puts a high one towards the half-forward line. Klomp coming in, reading the ball into the sun. Other players had difficulty. Voigt back there, puts it back towards Eva, traps it beautifully on the half volley, gives it across to Kinnear, and Port Adelaide's go into attack. Up towards their half-forward line, searching for Evans, who takes it. A good mark, low down to the ground. Evans quickly wanting to play on, puts a high one up towards Randall Gerlach. He sets himself, Casey with a drop on him, however, over the top, spoils. In they go, trying to pick up the ball in the square. Trying to wind his way through. There is Granger pushing the ball out in front of him. Taken away by Light, gets the left foot kick away. But in defence, it's Davies. Cool. Drives out the ball to the outer side. It's 2-on-1 out there. Bergen and Howard versus the pacey Watman. Watman almost there first. Bergen hits him off the ball. Over the top is Howard, looking for the free kick, but umpire Foster comes in for the bounce.
Well, Watman was certainly under pressure there, but didn't he do it well? He kept the ball locked up and Port stay in attack. Right half forward flank. They trail by 22 points at the moment. Tap away. Davies. Hand pass is a bad one because Bergen was right on top of him and couldn't control it. Boundary throw. Chris Nat and Rick Davies again. No clear tap away until finally Ebert fished it away. Sanders cross towards Lauder, who dropped it. It comes to Lloyd. And a long kick towards the centre of the ground where Voigt and Klomp get underneath it. Then in was Eade. Graham intercepted, and then from Klomp across to Graham. Sets it up in short. Barton with a fumble. It was a hard one to take. Back to Fragamini. Sets it up short for Fleischer. Just backward of the centre. For Fleischer in towards Russell. Ebert. Bagshaw was too late. Ebert's kick is high into the forward pocket. Getting out there to take the mark, but couldn't complete it was Phillips. Loses it. Phillips there still holding the ball. The tackle put on by Lauder. In the back pocket for Sturt. Jeffrey Lauder. Kicks towards the half-back flank. All players up and down before acceptance as Voigt tackled quickly. Gee, the tackling's quick in this game, Ian. You just don't get time to breathe. What's going on there? I thought there'd already been a free kick or a bounce down by umpire Foster, and suddenly players start pushing and shoving, and Des Foster had a bit of an incident on his hands. I must admit my concentration lapsed. I didn't see it.
I thought he'd blown the whistle, Ted.
Well, I stopped too. I started to fill in time, Ian.
At the bounce down at centre wing, it's Cunningham who jams the ball onto his boot. Not a good-looking kick to the half-forward line. Searching for the ball in there is Walk. Goes to ground. Holding the ball, said umpire Foster, and David Granger with the free kick. The Port Adelaide player on the half-forward line puts it up in the air. Looking there for Gerlach on the leg. Gets his hands to it, can't complete it. Running out of the pack now is Evans. Hooks it back in towards the pocket. Chasing it there, throwing himself out at his Phillips, but won't make the grade. And it's out of bounds to full forward left pocket. 7-6 to 3-8 in the grand final. Port Adelaide with an immense job in this second half if they want to take the flag for 76. Randall Gerlach gets the tap away. Tap further afield. Miles down from the wing. Throws the ball down. Play on is the call. Cunningham winds his way out of the pack. Slips over the handball to Kinnear. He goes down. Free kick, Kinnear. Kinnear well down from the wing. Obviously chasing his opponent, Brenton Miles, or vice versa. But it's Kinnear about 45, 50 metres out from goal. The angle probably about 50 degrees. Kick number 9 to the Port Adelaide wingman. He puts it up towards the edge of the square. They fly, and the great mark taken in defence by Colin Casey.
Casey, who had such a big contract when the game started to try to contain Randall Gerlach, has played extremely well. And he goes towards the outer side flank. The ball fisted away by Light, out of bounds. Still in the deep attacking zone for Port Adelaide, almost to their right forward pocket. The ruckmen gather once again. It'll be Chris Nat and Rick Davies. Nat in front, Davies from behind to Nunan. A long hand pass is loose. For Fleischer trying to break clear. It's been held. right half forward flank, or just inside that. He'd be within kicking distance, Andy Paplusha, some 45 metres. The breeze that he's coming left to right across him, but would certainly be helping him.
Port Adelaide 28 frees, Sturt 14, 2-1 in favour of the Magpies.
Paplusha lining up now. Won't quite make the distance, and look at that pack set in the goal square. Off hands it comes, snapped away by Granger. He snapped it through! No, he hasn't. It's dropped short. Fisted through off hands. Gee, I thought that had the distance, Ian.
Deceiving, Ted. We were in perfect line, and it looked like it was straight through the middle. But of course, it's history. He didn't make the distance.
3 goals, 9 Port Adelaide. 7 goals kicked, 6 Sturt. It was Casey in short to Nelson. Nelson out wide. Miles towards the half-back flank, grandstand side. A fork, and he gets around Kim Kinnear. Doesn't have a lead set up, and then he goes towards Barton. Fragamini behind, and Klomp chipped in to take the mark. Right half forward flank for Sturt. God, he's played a game today, this fellow, Ian.
Fine performance. Only 7 kicks, Ted, but some telling handballs.
In front, Lyle. Taken away from it. Hits the ground. Sims across to Murphy onto the left boot. Murphy snap at goal is offline 1 point. 7-7 Sturt. Still leading Port Adelaide 3-9.
Well, Port Adelaide have got plenty of problems. They need a lift in ruck, and they want their running players to get into the game. The Eberts, the Cunninghams, the poor Pleshers. But at this moment, they're not getting the drive set up for them, and they're struggling.
And it's Fragamini who takes the kick in. Ebert out wide, searches for it and finds it on the second grab. Right half-back flank, and he takes it. Looks for a lead and decides to go long with the ball. Behind was Lauder. Runs Port Adelaide's way. David Granger has time to get set towards goal and does it well towards goal. The goal umpire reads it through, and there's the first goal of this third term, and it goes the way of the Magpies at the 6.5-minute mark. Port Adelaide now 4 goals, 9:37, trailing Sturt 7 goals, 7:49.
Well, Port Adelaide are kicking with a breeze in this quarter, and by my book, they've got to get about another 6 or 7 of those to have any chance of taking out the flag. Although the breeze is not a great factor, it's very handy for Sturt that it's at their backs in this last quarter. It must be worth 2 to 3 goals, so Ports have got to have about a 3-goal advantage going into the final quarter.
Centre bounce. Ebert came in over the top, came towards Cale. Finally, it's Howard who brings it clear for Sturt. Klomp again. Hawks a hand pass off to Barton. Barton into Murphy. Murphy into the open goal again. Murphy blazes away and has put it through for a quick reply by Sturt. Sturt won the ball away from the centre, and a series of hand passes sees the Sturt veteran John Murphy drive through their 8th goal. Sturt 8-7, Port 4-9, and that was vintage Sturtian day.
Oh yes, once again though, Ted, set up by Robert Klomp. Had too much pace. Poor Peter White there as he let out from the half-forward line. And once he got the ball, that beautiful piece of handball back over his shoulder, and it's Sturt's ability to run, including their veteran John Murphy, who notched his 2nd goal.
Centre bounce again. This time Davies used the elbow to move Nat out of the way, and the free kick goes the way of the Port ruckman. Right in the centre of the ground. Randall Gerlach on the lead. Ball put up high in the air towards that player. He's forced a prop. Behind was Casey. Nelson couldn't quite take the mark. Goes to ground. Bounce. 30 metres out from goal. Players gather once again. 8-minute mark of the third term. 22 points the difference in favour of the Double Blues, and this time we see Gerlach pushing Davies out, or did he push? 15-metre penalty being applied, and this is one of the few for the game. Des Foster has had to apply. Brings Davies almost up to centre half back to take the kick.
What a fine final game he's playing. Wonderful player for Sturt.
Sturt going towards the outer side flank. The leads are on there, and it's Bagshaw. Took the mark on the chest. 15-metre penalty as Bruce White came in late. There's a frustration creeping into the Magpie game. They don't need that. They've got to peg back this deficit that they have.
Well, there seemed to be no reason for it, Ted. It's only frustrated them still further and given a 15-metre penalty, leaving Davies alone on the centre line, across to Graham. Graham to use his pace, trying to break round his opponent. He's done it well. Break clear in towards the fast leading Wild in the pocket. Up there, gets his hands to it. Through goes Fragamini. Well supported by James. Back turns into trouble. The handball back to James, very close to the boundary line. Nat the opportunity, but it's Davies in front once again. Well clear as Barton slips over the handball to Miles. Sturt look good as they go into attack once again. Setting himself is Graham, can't read it into the sun. Sims at the back of the pack, back to Barton. Barton's got to get round Fragamini. He does so, hooks it in towards goal. Michael Graham! Right on the edge of the square. Sturt doing it well. Umpire Foster's got a minor problem at the moment. Players getting very, very tense in the 76 final. They start to pack up. Max James having a few words to umpire Foster.
Both runners on the ground, obviously with the words, cool it. David Edwards and Ashley Mackay. Cool it, boys, they're saying. Wood being switched, Evans to centre half back.
13 kicks to Michael Graham, right on the edge of the square. Underway now, pops it through. Sturt going from strength to strength, lengthening their lead, kicking into the breeze. Michael Graham's third goal. And on the day, he's proved too slippery for John Eade, as Sturt now moved to 9-7 to Port Adelaide's 4-9 with Channel 7 you are on the big replay.
Port Adelaide forced to make changes. Tim Evans to full back, Max James to centre half back, Peter White to centre half forward.
Well, a desperate moves, Ted, but Port Adelaide in a desperate position. 10 minutes into the third quarter, they trail now by 28 points.
The bounce, Nat and Davies, as Davies gets the tap away. Howard's kick is high, it's wild. Behind it, it's Miles. By gee, that was a good mark, because Phillips came in well. Phillips knew he couldn't give the free kick away to Klomp. Takes in the mark. Right half forward flank. Goes into the pocket, there's nobody leading there, it's into the open space. Out comes Evans, keeps the ball running for him. Good play by the centre half forward, now switched to full back. Goes in short, finds James, across towards Kinnear. Kinnear out wide of the flank, Bruce Light's there, can't bring in the mark. Knocked out clear of him by Bergen. Light's pace gets him there. He contests again, gets back onto the ball, brings it clear with the left foot towards centre half forward. Peter White's there, behind us Nelson, he spoils. Off hands to Bagshaw, long hand pass to Davies. He has Barton clear, has Miles out wider, half forward flank. Miles in towards the goal square he goes, sets it up, drives in, the ball carries, through for another goal, and Sturt go further ahead against the breeze in the third term. That goal of Brendan Miles.
Brendan Miles maintaining position superbly. Doesn't wander at all from that wing. Tim Kinnear, his opponent, gave him at least a 40-metre start. Sturt knew exactly where he was. They put it out there, and the Sturt wingman set up the goal perfectly. A 6-goal advantage now to Sturt. Port Adelaide in tremendous trouble here in the 76 grand final. Only time will tell. They trail by 34 points. Can Sturt come from obscurity in 76 and get up and grab the 76 flag?
Centre bounce again, Chris Nat's tap away into the open space. Howard's the first player there, weaves out of trouble, has Brett Miles wide again and alone, takes the mark. He'll go towards the half forward flank, sets it up. Murphy from behind Phillips. Murphy's mark not paid, yes it has been paid. On the right half forward flank, John Murphy. Is he playing his last game today? Who knows?
Not the way he's playing, Ted.
Kicks in towards the lead of Wild, under the ball. Out wide it goes. Whiteman there, he's got pace. Graham's got the pace too. Bergen through, goes short, well tackled there by Ebert. Tapped away, back to Greg Wild. Towards the forward pocket it goes, James and Klomp. James, good mark on the half-back line. They need some steadying marks at the moment. They go towards the centre of the ground with a player set.
Granger up, can't take the mark. Quickly there for the crumbs is Brendan Howard, tackled now by Granger. Holding the ball, set umpire Foster. Well, that was pretty interesting. And a free kick has gone the way to David Granger. Just the attack side of centre wing. Port Adelaide badly needing a lift now. 6 goals down. David Granger puts them into attack low. In defence, Davies can't hold it, but it's taken superbly by Casey. Once again looking for Brendan Miles. What a magnificent quarter from the Sturt veteran. Bolts puts it in towards the half forward line. Looking there for Klomp, but in defence it is James. He's allowed to play on. Fragamini back in defence for Port Adelaide. Clear is Russell Ebert. Port Adelaide badly need Ebert to lift his game now. The low raking drop kick towards the half forward line. There's 3-1 in favour of Sturt. The handball from Bagshaw to Howard. Howard goes short looking for Graham, but it's brilliantly intercepted by number 28 John Eade, who drives towards centre wing. There waiting for it is Chris Nat. He will put Ports into attack once again.
From the the centre line. He goes short. Davies gets under the end of the loose kick, takes it. Casey playing confidently now. Breaks away, drives towards the half-forward line. Klomp in on the chest. Barton breaking towards centre-half forward. Not a good kick. Nat intercepts well. Taps it on towards Phillips. He's under pressure. Port Adelaide making their own mistakes as well as the forced one. Kinnear, tackle. Holding the man, the decision between centre and centre wing. Goes short, looking for Cunningham. Can't take it. Drops short. Barton in there. Gathers the ball in. Has a lead from Nunan out wide. Out there, Sims and Berrier. Sims gets there. Taps back towards Nunan. Nunan drops it back. Into the clear towards Sims. Kicks off the ground into towards the forward line. Evans gets the bad bounce. Sims in the backup. Fragamini in the backup. The hand pass away. Phillips from the behind half back goes long towards centre wing. Players get under it. Poplisha takes the mark.
Poplisha at centre wing to put the Magpies into attack. He comes down Grandstein side looking for Russell, but brilliantly intercepted by Davies. He's into superb form. 14 kicks.
Listen to that grandstand, Ian.
Mark number 10 to Rick Davies from just the check side of centre wing, almost back to the half-back flank. As Davies foots the Blues into attack to the half-forward line, fisted away by Nat. Barton waiting for the crumbs, run into by Poplisha. Back turning out of trouble is Bagshaw. Too slow, but he gets up beautifully. How did he get out of that? He must be Houdini. Puts it in towards the full forward area. Overrun by Berrier. Wild there, trying to give away the handball. Puts it out in front of Michael Graham. He's on his left foot, tries to hook back. Puts it straight up in the air in the pocket. They fly. The ball comes. Roundhouse right by Fragamini. Back to Phillips. Quickly battling on there as they come out of defence through Cale. Cale is about to be met by Bergen. Puts the short one across the waiting arms of Bruce White. He drops it.
Missed the mark. Hand passes in towards Cale from centre wing towards centre half forward for Port now. Behind is Loiter. Davies brings it away. Hill.
Port Adelaide was nothing across half forward at all, Ted.
No, they're not firing there. This is where we all expected the run to come from Port. Gee put Lloyd in trouble, but he gets it back towards Nelson. He's in trouble. Hand passes wild. Ebert breaks away, goes in short. The kicker, an untidy one. Back towards half-back. Davies. Long hand pass. Forced to go to the open. Cale throws it away to Watman. Watman in turn to Poplisha. Poplisha's kick almost smothered. It's on the way and it's through for full points. Andy Poplisha fires it back for Port Adelaide. His first for the match. And Port Adelaide go to 5 goals 9. Trailing Sturt 10 goals 7. 9 kicks to Andy Poplisha. His first goal for the match. And boy oh boy, hasn't the pressure been on. It's a 15-minute mark now of the third term. Sturt 10-7 lead Port. 5-9 on Channel 7. Big replay.
Well, Port Adelaide struggling in attack, as I've said before. It's messy all right, but that time effective as they got the handball out. But they can't get their players running up to the ball at all. And Sturt are not allowed. They're about to let them. They're closing up every gap. Their defence is in superb form.
Centre bounce. Tap away by Nat. Not handled by anybody. Players through hard. And finally Des Foster will bounce it again. Still in the centre circle. But no limit on the number of players that can come in around it now. And the pack gathers. Nat from behind Sims. Sims got the final tap away. Murphy tries to tear through. Can't complete it. The ball on the ground. Holding the ball. Holding the man rather. It's Poplisha who gets it. Searches for Bruce White out wide. And White takes the mark on the right half forward flank. Breaks clear. In towards centre half forward it goes. Sims gets one hand to the ball. Comes to Nelson. Weaves through. Can't get the hand pass clear. Cale's there. Can't break clear. Nunan to Howard. Back towards Nelson. Sturt into attack. Over half forward they go. And Barton takes the mark at centre half forward in advance of Poplisha. Not Poplisha, Fragamini. 7 kicks to Barton. Down towards the lead there. Comes towards Klomp. Klomp sets up the goal. Drives in. Sturt. Quick reply from the boot of Robert Klomp. Sturt 11-7. Port 5-9. Ian Day.
What a magnificent game from Robert Klomp. Only kick number 10, his second goal, but the handballing and the position he's making makes him to this stage of the ground, in my opinion, for this stage of the game, best man on the ground. A superb performance from the Sturt centre half forward.
Rick Davies would have to be very close
yes,
to best on
the
ground.
two of them the best on ground, Ted. I'll admit Davies is playing exceptionally well, but Klomp at centre half forward in a more difficult position. He's giving Sturt something to work on, and he's had the compliment paid of having Peter White, an out-and-out champion, moved off him.
The ball still in the centre. Handball, sort of, comes towards Kinnear. Loses it. Murphy. Sturt back into attack again. They get set. Evans there, takes Wild under the ball and takes the mark. Almost out the centre half back as he takes it. 73 points to 39 and Sturt lead. Sims takes the mark on the chest behind the pack. Out wide he has Nunan, but it's a bad kick away, and this allows Phillips to drop in to take the mark. Just forward of his half-back flank. Goes towards centre half forward with a huge pack sets offhand. Lloyd fisted away, knocked away by Cale. Back towards Nelson. Wood goes under the ball. Wood pulled up a tackle too high by Howard. Peter Wood to take the kick between centre half forward and the half forward flank. 7th kick to Peter Wood. Gerlach doesn't lead. Goes back for the long kick to come in high. That's where it is. Casey from behind spoils. Casey follows it through. His hand pass is smothered. Getting on it. Darryl Cale snaps right. Snaps back towards goal. Offline 1 point only. Port Adelaide 5-10. Sturt 11 goals 7.
Nelson in trouble from the trainers. There's 3 of them talking to the veteran centre half back. He's okay now as runner David Edwards moves out to see him. But in the meantime, it's Casey to take the ball into play.
Go towards the outer side flank. Players shielding their eyes from the sun out there. It'd be uncomfortable trying to mark. Not a long kick. Starts to drop short. And called play on, was it, by Lloyd? Looked as if he may have taken the mark. Comes to Nunan, off towards Sims. He's beautifully tackled. The ball knocked forward again. Port Adelaide through Granger. Can't get clear. Murphy's through there. Uses the body well. Through comes Eade, is it? Can't break clear, and finally over the line.
John Eade.
Throw in right half forward flank for Port Adelaide. 22-minute mark of the 3rd term. Sims from behind, but it was Nat's tap away. Comes to the ground. Ebert weaves his way through the pack. For Pleasure, sets it up for Light. Back to Port Pleasure. In towards the open goal he goes. Sets it up towards goal. The goal umpire has to move a bit of distance and signifies 1 point only. 5 goals, 11 now, Port Adelaide. Sturt more accurate on the scoreboard at 11 goals, 7. Colin Casey once again towards the outer side.
That was more like the Port Adelaide attacking machine we've seen all season. They couldn't convert. Light back in there, but Nicky Nunan ferrets the ball out. Running away there from Nat. Handballs towards centre wing. It's Michael Graham with the opportunity. The left foot kick puts them into attack towards the half forward line. They're waiting for it now as Davies slips over the handball to veteran Murphy. Murphy in turn gets it across back to Nunan. Nunan looking for someone to kick it to up towards full forward, but in the road is big Tim Evans, who's been moved back to full back to cover the dominance of Wild. Ebert at centre half back takes the short pass. He in turn will look for Cunningham in the centre of the ground. Cunningham wanting to play off. No one supporting him on this occasion. Puts poor Pleasure under the hammer, but he's well shepherded there by Watman, enabling him to take the mark unopposed. Robert Watman at centre half forward to put the Magpies into attack. He goes in looking for Gerlach, who can't get into the game. Off the fingers it comes. Getting back on it is Lloyd, and he allows the ball, or perhaps he had no option, to trickle over the line for 1-2 Port Adelaide. Port 5-12, not getting the score on the board with the wind in this quarter. 11-7 Sturt. The Blues leading by 31 points as once again Casey getting plenty of work, booting the ball back into play, goes to the outer side.
Towards that outer side half-back flank it is. It's a longer kick. Well, they set off hand. Bruce Light taps it away, gives the run of the ball to Russell Ebert. He's quickly tackled, but gathers it in like the champion he is and goes towards the full forward line. There's a push under the ball, no, called play on, and the snap towards goal has gone offline.
Ted, I reckon it hit the post. The post
I was looking at Des Foster. I thought he'd blown the whistle in. As you can well imagine, it's impossible to hear it from where we are, and with this tremendous crowd noise and crowd participation. Can't even tell you who snapped the point.
Yeah, Darryl Cale.
30 points the difference, Sturt lead. 1 minute plus time on to play in this 3rd term. Casey's kick again towards that outer half-back flank.
They fly on the outer side. The ball comes back here to Ebert. Ebert across to poor Pleasure in plenty of trouble. Beautifully stolen off in there by Lloyd. Onto the boot. The ball goes towards the line. It's Bergen chasing it. Nat on his hammers. The left foot kick from Bergen comes back towards centre wing. Sanders in front position. Off the fingers it comes to Murphy. Trying to pick it up there is Barton. He can't do so. They fly for the release. They buy for the ball at centre wing. Tony Giles is on for Port Adelaide. Ted, I didn't see the change. There's the player walking across the other side. Perhaps you can pick him up. Yes, it's John Eade off for Port Adelaide. Tony Giles onto the half-back flank in opposition to the elusive Michael Graham. There he is with the ball at the moment. Fisted into attack for the Blues. Robert Klomp charges to meet the ball. He's going to have a bounce. He's clear. They can't catch him. Berrier after him. He strides away from Berrier. Sets out towards goal. Kicks into the man. Mickey Nunan with a chance. Will back turn out of trouble. Bragamini over the top of him. What's the decision by umpire Foster? Look at Mickey Nunan looking to see what Foster's decision is. It's a line ball and a bounce in the full forward left pocket.
Sturt deep into attack as the time clock shows that the 25-minute mark has been reached. A bounce. Wild taps down. Berrier's in the way. Bagshaw snaps towards goal and has missed 1 point. Sturt now 11 goals, 8. 74 points, leading Port 5-13. Tim Evans to kick back into play. John Eade walking around the boundary. Towards the half-back line. Nobody flies for the mark. Kinnear appeared to be tackled. Klomp just into the open space will do towards goal, he says. Cunningham hotly pressed by Barton. Cunningham again, still pressed by Barton. Finally the ball forced over the line, throw in. Right forward pocket for Sturt. And they lead by 31 points. Into time on. Nats tap down, Bagshaw mishandles, players pack up, Des Foster will bounce. Almost down to the right forward pocket. Sturt has surprised everybody with their pace to the ball today. Let's see if they can continue it. Wilds tap down, but Eade across to Patricia, not Eade, Nat to Patricia, finally towards Ebert. Ebert breaking away, the late tackle sees the ball, Skywards. Davies, tackle from behind but allowed to play on. Thrown out clear by Watman to Phillips. Back towards Leighton Watman. Watman balks his way out of trouble. Onto the left boot now, up high towards Gerlach. Casey from behind, the big fist spoiled. Comes to ground, Cale in. Cale snaps goalwards and puts it through for the Magpies and puts them back in the fight. First goal to Darryl Cale, 6th goal to Port Adelaide. 15 kicks Darryl Cale, 6 goals, 13 Port Adelaide. Trailing Sturt 11 goals, 8.
Well, Darryl Cale's probably the only small player of Port Adelaide that's given them any run at all through their half-forward line. Cunningham's doing work around the ground. Poor Cleish's not in the game really, and it's Darryl Cale that's done most of the work through that half-forward line. But a record crowd of 66,897. The biggest crowd ever in the history of South Australian football. Here seeing Sturt leading 11-8 to 6-13 Port Adelaide.
Tap away by Davies, Kinnear in, shrugs off the tackle, and then a long kick. Lloyd stands underneath the ball to take the mark and hold up that attack. 25 points the difference now. And what's going on here? Must mean something happened further up play where Des Foster was, and he's going to give a free kick to Klomp. Klomp's kick is loose, but it gives Miles the run of the ball. He kicks him long towards the goal square. Berrier in there, comes in long, but there's a good mark to Tim Evans. He's been a solid player today for Port Adelaide. In short, has Phillips. Phillips to break away from the back pocket. He'll drop it onto the left boot and go in short. Chris Nat, quick hand pass, finds Kinnear. Port Adelaide looking better as they go into attack in this time-on period of the third term. Well, they set, there's a mark. Taken by Phillips up forward. Greg Phillips at centre-half forward as he takes that mark. Playing in the forward pocket at the moment while White is at centre-half forward. 4th kick to Greg Phillips. Only 45 metres out and has the breeze at his back. Has a stop and a start. He goes back.
Tremendous pressure on the 17-year-old Ted.
There must be, Ian. Kick on the way, it looks good from where we sit. Starts to swing back and does, right through the middle. A big goal to Port Adelaide, and they strike back in the time-on period of the third term. 7 goals, 13 now, trailing Sturt, 11 goals, 8, and that's a 19-point margin, is it, Ian, or a 20-point margin? A 19-point margin in favour of the Sturt side.
Well, it must be very close to three-quarter time, and Sturt have got the breeze behind them in the last quarter, and they've got a 19-point advantage. Whilst they certainly won't be complacent on the issue, they must have an excellent chance of winning the 76 flag, but that could be the goal that sparks the Magpies.
Centre bounce, Davies tap. Propletia tried to get through. Bagshaw there. Back towards Howard. And a bounce. Just the attack side of centre for Port Adelaide. The ruckmen gather again. 3 Port Adelaide players fly out towards Bruce Lake, but Propletia with a long hand pass out to Giles. Jams the boot under, down on the forward pocket it goes. Phillips and Lord are there. The bounce of the ball favours Casey. Out into the open it goes towards Bergen and Loiter, and it's Bergen who brings it away. Goes around the wing. Bagshaw's there. Has pressure applied from all angles, and the mark taken there by Tony Giles. Centre wing, outer side of the ground, towards centre half forward. From behind, Davies can't complete the mark. Called play on to Lloyd. Finally breaks clear. Out towards the outer side wing again it goes. And does it bounce out on the full? No. Throw in. Throw in. Centre wing. 74 points to 55. Sturt lead at the 30-minute mark.
The big crowd at Football Park at the throw-in on the outer side. The ball comes in there, trying to search his way through was Barton. The ball thrown out by Ebert. At the centre of the ground, it's Lee Light. The left foot kick coming towards Kinnear. Over the top, Miles. In defence, it's Phillips. Gets round on the left leg. Hoofs it in towards the half-forward line. Darryl Cale there once again. Magnificent mark to Peter White. Oh, I thought it was a certainty for Cale, but Peter White, who looks to be in some trouble, pain on his face as he climbs to his feet, has taken a sensational one-handed mark about 40 metres out from goal. Well, if Port Adelaide ever needed a goal now, they need it from their McGarry medalist. Peter White is in trouble, has to handball to Ebert. Ebert sets out towards goal, but he's hooked it offline, and it could be out of bounds on the full. Oh, troubles for Port. It looks like the left knee area, and there's the siren to end the third quarter. Sturt in command at Football Park in the grand final, leading 11 goals, 8-74 to Port Adelaide 7-13, 55.
Hey, you know what GDD stands for?
GDD.
Graham Douglas Datsun,
GDD.
it's a place to go.
GDD.
Gonna give you satisfaction.
Graham Douglas Datsun, other people do know.
You know what GDD stands for? Great Datsun Deals. And that's exactly what Graham Douglas Datsun stands for too. Graham Douglas Datsun, Unley Road and North East Road, Windsor Gardens.
The final quarter of 1976. This is it. There is no more, no second prizes. Sturt with a 19-point advantage as umpire Foster gets the final quarter underway. Sturt through Nunan, gives the handball out to Miles. Miles to Klomp, what a great player he's been. Tackled by James, kick underway now, getting towards the ball is Fragamini. Chances his arm, can't get in on the half volley. Whips it over to a teammate there. Kinnear pulled off the ball. Stacks on the mill at the moment. Howard over the top. Down they go. Phillips in possession, and it looks like a free kick to Port Adelaide on the half-back line. Neville Phillips on the half-back line for Port Adelaide, puts them towards centre wing now. Port Adelaide with a tremendous job in this last quarter, kicking into the breeze, trailing by 19 points. And already the ball off the side of the boot of Phillips out on the ball, and it's Brendan Miles to take the free kick on Sturt's half-forward right flank. Miles puts a high one back towards centre half-forward position. Sims sets himself, he doesn't take it. Off the packet comes in there, Nunan fighting for Sturt, and umpire Foster, who's done an excellent job in this grand final, his first, comes in to bounce the ball on the half-forward line.
Right at centre half-forward as the big pack gathers once again. Verrier and Sims, Verrier's tap away, gathered off the hands by Bagshaw, back towards Barton, Barton on to Sims, Sims straight into the open goal, it's fired away and missed it, 1 point only. 11 goals, 9 Sturt, Port 7-13. It's a 20-point advantage to Sturt, and they've got the breeze during this last term. Out to the wing it goes, Ebert! Can't take the mark, hits the ground, Howard over the top, Bergen in there, he's well tackled, comes to Howard, the ball held to him, they go to ground, bounce. Left forward pocket for Sturt.
Well, Ted, this is the final quarter, and if Port Adelaide's easier run through the finals is going to freshen their legs, we're going to find out in this quarter.
This is where they have to produce it, Ian. It's desperation stakes now for both sides. As you said before, there is no more. Verrier brings it away towards centre wing. White from behind, Bagshaw gets one hand to it, gets a second hand to it, over the line, throw in. Left half forward flank. Sturt. Nat and Davies No knock away. Bagshaw, goal. Look at a hand pass out to Bergen towards the forward pocket. 3 Port players fly. Comes to ground. Barton in trouble. Gets a boot to it. Murphy can't break clear. Back underneath it. Still breaking clear. Holding the ball. Free kick towards Tony Giles. In the back pocket for Port Adelaide as he takes it. A good kick too towards centre wing. The breeze doesn't stop that. That should have been paid a mark, surely to goodness. He completed the mark.
Well, Teddy, it's a pretty dicey one. The foot was in the back of Davies, but as you say, he completed the mark. He didn't attempt to spoil, but umpire Foster obviously reckoned that was illegal, and it's Davies with the kick. Underground towards the half-forward line. In defence, poor pressure. Overruns the ball. Bunt for Sturt. Puts it in towards the forward pocket. Over the top of Berrier. Sims. Nunan. Off the side of his feet to Wild. Oh, that was a lucky one, Ted.
Well, Ian, that was triple luck. The bounce of the ball favoured Sims. The hand pass was shot out, and then a wretched kick by Mike Nunan. And it lands straight in the arms of Greg Wild, 20 metres out and in front.
Wild heading towards the lake end of Football Park as he's sewn up to 76 final. He's hooked it. 1 point. 1 point to the Sturt full forward. A stand-in for the day. A wonderful effort last week with 5 goals. But offline there, I think he's a little bit disappointed with the decision. But the pressure must be starting to tell in this final quarter.
Evans towards the outer flank. Ebert out there on the lead. Comes to ground. He breaks clear. His strength prevails. Into the centre. James breaks away. Tackled at the last moment through. The mark taken there by Greg Phillips. A centre half forward. Port Adelaide full of run. Look at them go towards that goal square. Phillips would be within distance. Krishnak takes it 35 metres out from goal. Bruce Wright breaking into the pocket on his own.
He's on a more acute angle, Ted, and Nat says, well, I'm on a better angle. I can make the distance even though the breeze is coming into me. I'll have a go.
Breeze right to left across Krishnak. Port Adelaide still full of run, still full of fight. Kick on the way, starts to swing across the face of goal. The big pack sets. The mark's been claimed and the mark's been paid.
I think it's young Phillips.
Greg Phillips, 10 metres out from goal, right on the goal line. Port Adelaide trainers rushing from everywhere.
Kick number 6 to the young 17-year-old Phillips.
He's kicked 1 goal, Ian, lining up for what could be his second. Kick on the way, and he's made no mistake, he's put it through. Second goal to Greg Phillips, and that cuts the lead back of Sturt. 8-13 Port. Sturt 11 goals, 10. 15 points the difference now in favour of Sturt. Port Adelaide, who have had the good run into the finals, should have the run in their legs, and it's been proved so often at Football Park that you can score at the golf course end against the breeze. Listen to the crowd, Ian. It's dramatic, isn't it?
A record crowd, 66,897 people at Football Park. Up they fly. Davies gets the tap away. Over towards Kinnear, trying to wind his way through the pack. In goes Berrier. Can't get the ball clear. Poor pressure for Port Adelaide. They go down in a heap, and umpire Foster in for the bounce. The bounce almost back in the centre circle with Port Adelaide 15 points down. Can they make a comeback? Sturt have done everything quite up to date as umpire Foster bounce. Davies there with Berrier. Davies gets the fist away, back towards his half-forward line. In defence there, James can't pick it up. In comes Cunningham, can't get the ball clear. Swooping on it now, the handball comes out to Nunan. Nunan heads off towards the lake end goal, puts it high up in the air. It's going in straight. It's a goal!
That hand pass came from you-know-who.
Robert Klomp. What a magnificent performer. He and Davies, clearly the 2 best players on the ground. Mickey Noonan's first goal, and it could be the match winner for the Blues in 1976, 12-10 Sturt.
Early days to be saying that.
Oh, Ted, 7 minutes into the final term, anything can happen. The crowd standing now is there's obviously a yoke in the grandstand. There's both players and spectators getting very, very excited and tense in this final term. It's Berrier's knock.
Out towards the wing it goes, searching out there, Kinnear. Gets clear of the pack now. Oh, smothered by Davies. Sees Berrier get back on it. Bouncing his way out of trouble. Goes out wide. Plenty of leads out there. Graham! Michael Graham pulled in a mark between 2 Sturt players. 2 Port players, rather. and then goes out wide. Klomp on the lead there. Tries to hook it in one-handed. Can't complete it. On the ground, knocked clear by Natta's good football. Back to Verrier. Back into the pack. Bruce Light. Light. Hit high by Davies. And a down the ground free kick. It'll be taken by David Granger. Granger sees the lead on from Gerlach. High in the air towards that player. Casey from behind but can't get there. But Gerlach left the ball behind. Walk. Hotly pressed by Cunningham. Walk. Doubled back. Has two Sturt players and it's Casey who picks it up. Casey hasn't got a lead offering. Now he does from Bagshaw out towards the flank. He wobbles the ball out in that direction and it goes over the line. Right half forward flank for Sturt. Sturt 12-10 for 8-13.
Well, if Sturt are getting tired in the legs, they're certainly not showing it. 8 minutes into the grand final, and once again the stand-up looking at some incident that's going on in the members' side here at Football Park. At the throw-in, Davies, over the top comes Eve, but the ball back there to Phillips. The left foot kick is smothered off the boot. They're still in attack there, Sturt on the half-forward right flank, but can't get the ball clear as it goes out of bounds. 12-10, Sturt 8-13, Port Adelaide in the 1976 grand final. At the throw-in, it's Berrier in opposition to Davies. In there is Eve trying to pull the back over his head, but he does it straight to Klomp. Slips down another handball to Bagshaw. Bagshaw tries to charge his arm. He's collared, breaks the tackle, gets it over to Robert Barton, hooks in towards goal. I think it's another one! Bagshaw, brilliant performance. Got the cramp. Barton back there saying well done. Ran through two Port Adelaide defenders and put his second goal on the board in a brilliant solo effort.
Well, Bagshaw, who had the chance for the hand pass earlier, elected to hold onto the ball. When he was tackled, recovered his position, gave it to Barton, and Barton, with his 19th kick, notched his second goal. Sturt 13-10, Port 8-13.
Well, the fat's in the frying pan now. At the centre bounce, Berrier in front. Once again it comes to Nunan, slips it out to Brendan Howard, trying to run around of opponent. He left foots him into the tack to the half-forward line. Sturt with those two quick goals, running on strongly now. Barton on the half-forward line, goes to ground. Play on is the call. Bragamini for Port Adelaide. Well tackled by Sims. Barton bounces up again. In there is Sims. Can't get the ball clear. Handballs towards Graham. Graham under pressure now from Watman. Keeps the ball in play. And the flash is clear. Slipped out the handball to Barton to Klomp. Klomp Gertie in towards goal but just offline. And now we see Klomp going down with cramp. Sturt players starting to feel the effects of this hard final. And we also see a Port Adelaide player down in the full forward left pocket. I think it's Chris Nunan. Port Adelaide can't afford to lose a ruckman at this stage of the piece.
Quick kick in out towards that half-back flank, but Miles behind the pack. Works the ball clear in towards the pocket. Bagshaw takes the mark. Sturt seem to have the run in their legs, Ian. This is amazing, everybody at Football Park. They're getting there first. Barton on a lead. Bagshaw in short. Has Murphy there. Murphy takes the mark.
Instead of anything, they've got more run in their legs. They've got players loose in the forward lines, and Port Adelaide don't appear to have the legs to cover them.
Well, the rank underdog, Sturt, taking it up to Port Adelaide all day. Still lead on the scoreboard as Murphy kicks towards goal. Won't make the distance. Sims from behind, off hands to Barton. Gets clear across to Wild. Wild will be tackled. Snaps towards goal. And Greg Wild has kicked his third goal for the match. You sure that's right? Third. Good on you, Ian. I only made it two.
Ted, I think you must be getting a bit excited. I've got a goal number 3, and that's his 6th kick at full forward. Irrespective, it doesn't matter who kicks them in the final, so long as they're on the board for the Blues. 14-11, Sturt 8-13, Port Adelaide. And now Sturt appear to have the 76 flag in their keeping, but anything can happen at football. They might run out of legs in this last 20 minutes of the game, and if they do, Port Adelaide will make full use, but Sturt appear to be doing it on the bit at this stage.
Murphy takes the Davies knocked down into the forward line, but Berrier out and takes a safe mark quickly onto Carl Bragamini in short towards Giles. Graham from behind searches the ball clear again. His hand pass snared in by Bragamini, sets Cunningham up. Bergen into tackle, drags the ball in back underneath him. Tackle and bounce. Left half forward flank. It's desperation stuff now. 11-minute mark of the last quarter of this 76 grand final. Sturt lead by 34 points. Sims tapped down towards Nunan. Nunan out in front of Klomp. Klomp bustled off it by Verrier. Verrier back onto it again. Goes in short. We'll find Nat. Nat to Giles. He waited too long. He didn't see Graham coming. Murphy in over the top, bounce, left half forward flank.
Well, there's some weary players out there now.
A lot of Sturt players starting to cramp, Ian.
That's right. I notice Klomp's got his socks down. Bagshaw went down with cramp a little while ago, Ted, with their legs probably big enough. It's 34 points.
Tap away again by Sims, snared by Cunningham, in short. Nelson in front, can't complete the mark. Comes towards Granger. Granger held when he didn't have the ball. Free kick the way of David Granger. Granger did a rather foolish thing there, but got away with it. Centre wing. Over half forward it goes. Pack sets. The back's Lauder. Brings it away and goes up towards the half forward line. Dropping back is Max James. Off hands. Bagshaw out into the open. The run of the ball goes the way of Klomp. Klomp straightens up towards goal. Drives it in but pushes it offline. Just the minor score to Sturt. 14-12 Sturt. Port 8-13.
14 kicks to Robert Klomp. And a sensational performance at centre half forward. He might be tired, he might be cramped, but he's running on his knees in a sensational performance. On the back line there, the mark is being paid to Port Adelaide and is taken there by Max James. I think it's Robert Watman. Watman at centre wing. Dummies the handball now across to Phillips on the half back line. Puts them up towards the half forward right flank. Off the fingers it comes down. Ebert can't pick up the ball. In there is Cunningham. Passes out the handball. In trouble is Darryl Cale. Puts out the pass towards half forward line. David Granger there. Watman going past. Doesn't want that player in the pocket. He's got Peter White clear, but he's giving it to Randall Gerlach on the lead. And the big fellow comes and takes a strong chest mark about 40 metres out from goal. Port Adelaide badly need their big fellow to fire right now. 13 minutes into the grand final in 1976. Kick number 7 to Randall Gerlach. Headed towards the golf course end of Football Park. Once again, the kick underway, getting in close to the man on the mark. It's gone off the side of his boot. It's a clear ball in the pocket. First air is going to be White. Tries to run through. Can't get clear. Umpire. Foster. Walk across to Nunan. Nunan to Casey's. Backing up splendidly. The left foot kick towards the centre wing. Giles there. Taps it over towards Russell Ebert. Ebert now back on the left foot, smothered off the boot. Murphy in, goes to ground, tries to get it to Graham. Through comes Ebert, but a free kick's gone the way of John Murphy, if he's got the strength to get up and take it. John Murphy, a fine performance in the grand final, 32 years of age, giving his every last ounce of energy for the blue jumper. 12 kicks to John Murphy, just the attack side of centre wing as they go now towards the lake end of Football Park.
A long kick towards the pocket, and the pack set, stumped away by Verrier. First in, Cunningham, he loses the ball. Barton's there, Cunningham was held too long, and the free kick goes the way of the Port Rover. Looks to be in trouble with an injured knee. In the back pocket, Brian Cunningham getting gingerly to his feet. Free kick will be taken by Max James, substitute player to take the kick. Nat and Nunan at the back of the pack, and it's Russell Ebert, sets it up short, but off the side of the boot and over the line. Nelson to take the kick back into play. 15-minute mark, I think it is, Ian. I can't see the clock when it's down that bottom end.
That's right, Ted.
Pretty sure it's the 15-minute mark. Towards centre wing it goes again. Nat in front, Davies from behind. And Davies, who's been superlative.
He and Klomp have got to be the best two on the ground, Ted.
Davies now to take the kick. Slowing play up. Goes for the short pass, and Murphy's there. He'll have Cunningham attacking him. But goes in short. Goes in short. Bagshaw, 25 metres out from goal. A safe mark. Well, the Sturt skipper has played in many grand finals. Nerves shouldn't be the problem at this stage of the game. 35 points the difference before this kick is taken. It is on the way. It is now 41 points the difference in favour of Sturt. Second goal to Paul Bagshaw, and Sturt running away from Port Adelaide in the latter part of the game. Sturt 15-12, 102 points. Port Adelaide 8 goals, 13, 61. 41 points the difference in favour of Sturt.
What a tremendous performance put up by the Blues. They trailed 1-3 to 2-5 at quarter time. They led 7-6 to 3-8 at half time, 11-8 to 7-13 at three-quarter time, and now with a mammoth 41-point lead in the 1976 final.
Chris Nat's tap away. Davies is there to shark it out to Bergen. He goes straight to the outer side flank, into the open space. Boundary line's close. Brenton Miles is close also, but the ball beats him over. Centre wing out of side. The fans are starting to leave, Ian. Is that indicative?
Well, I think so, Ted. 41 points, 15 minutes in.
Davies from behind, a tap down towards Nunan, can't get it. Sanders in there also. Ball on the ground, Des Foster to bounce.
Ted, the crowd's so big it's going to take a month for some of them to get out.
Centre bounce again. Not centre bounce, but a bounce down again. Tap away by Nat this time. Cale, grab by Sanders, the hand pass to Nunan. Nunan in towards Murphy. Murphy's kick towards Graham. Well spoiled by Giles. They pack up the ball on the ground. Giles back onto it. Also in there was Barton. The ball held in between both players. Bounce between the centre half forward position and the right half forward for Sturt.
The bounce down in Sturt's attacking division, 15-12 to 8-13. A lot of the tension got out of the game now as two sides desperately struggle for the 76 flag. Brendan Miles picks up the ball, zooms into attack now, puts it high towards the square. 2-on-1 back there. He might have kicked the goal. Which way will it bounce? No, off the fingers it goes through for a minor score. 1 point to Sturt. 15th kick to Brendan Miles. A superb play at centre wing. Discipline all the way along the line. Maintained his position well and booted them into attack on numerous occasions. The kick out, searching for James, but in front once again we see the mark pulled down by Sturt. On this occasion, Greg Wild.
Having a run on the ball, Sims to full forward.
He's earned it, Ted. He's done everything asked of him in the two games he's played at full forward. 6 foot 5 inches. What's that in centimetres? Probably about 195, 197. That's Greg Wild towards the lake end of Football Park. Yes, not a bad kick either, going up towards the square. Bagshaw over the top. Great back. Great mark, Bagshaw. In superlative form, the Wizard of Unley, the magician. All the superlatives in the football book can be applied to Paul Bagshaw, the Sturt skipper, as he takes the screamer. About 10 yards out, kick number 13. He's on his right foot, will possibly improve his angle. Heads straight towards the goal, supremely confident and splits to centre. And Ted, if there was ever a nail in the coffin, Bagshaw's goal number 3 has hammered it firmly into Port Adelaide's coffin in 1976. 16-13 Sturt, 8-13 Port Adelaide. You're with Channel 7 on the big replay.
An 8-goal advantage to Sturt, of course, Ian Day, means that Port Adelaide faced the impossible task. Sturt, who have done it the hard way, they lost their last 3 home-and-home games. They were knocked out in the second semi-final, the qualifying final, and since then put 2 in a row together. They made some tradition for Sturt by getting into the final the hard way. And I must admit that I felt the heart felt Sturt, but the brain said Port today. And I can only say, Ian, that they've done themselves proud.
Well, Ted,
to lead by 8 goals at this stage of the game, I think has shocked everybody in the football world in South Australia.
Have to support you, Ted. A sensational performance. As you said, the absolute underdog. At the centre bounce. Ferrier tries to break around Howard, goes to ground, has to handball it out in a hurry. Even in for Port Adelaide. Looks like the big disappointment to the Port Adelaide Magarey medalist. Phillips in there, hooks it back over his head. Sanders spoils. Bergen in defence, flanked by Barton, goes to ground, trying to get the ball out, can't do so, and umpire Foster into bounce. The bounce on Port Adelaide's half-forward line. There's the scoreboard, or there's the time clock. 20-minute mark, if you can see it, behind those youthful supporters. A crowd of 66,897 seeing the wonderful performance of the Double Blues. In defence, Lauder over to Nelson. Nelson, a very high one towards the half-back flank. All Port Adelaide there. Kinnear gets the chest underneath the ball and takes it. Port Adelaide now, not a lot of movement in attack. This one's on the way towards Gerlach, and the big fellow accepts the pass about 35 minutes out. He's got Peter White in the square. Is he going to look for that flare? He's going to have to fly now. Oh, gee, he was pushed when he was going for the ball, but umpire Foster was unsighted and has allowed the point to stand. 1 point to Port Adelaide. They need more than this at the moment. They need divine intervention. 8-14 to 16-13.
An unprecedented scenes as far as I can see. There are so many people between the boundary line and the fence that there's hardly room for the players. Police everywhere, people everywhere around the boundary line as finally Casey with a long kick towards half-back. Davies doesn't complete this mark. The ball runs through. Graham goes up towards the pocket. Sims on the lead. Right on the chest it goes. Sets it up for Graham in towards a pocket. Giles intercepts well. Brings it away. Long kick. Covers the centre wing. Granger getting set. Spoiled by Bergen. Bergen through. Back into it. The hand pass finds Howard. Howard's kick is in short and intercepted by Andy Puklisha. Backward of centre, and he goes in short. Darryl Cale. Just behind centre. Port. Time clock shows 2 minutes plus time on it. The ball skies its way towards centre half forward for Port. Off hands. Howard caps it clear to Bergen. Bergen back towards Howard. A fumble. This will allow Puklisha in. He's stopped in his tracks for Puklisha. First to recover. Gets the kick away. Back towards Phillips. The mark taken. Lloyd from behind Phillips. Too late to spoil. Greg Phillips kick. Oh, it's a loose kick. Was looking for Cale, but Cale's good enough to get back on it. Forced to give ground. Bounces the ball. Finally a kick high in the air. Sanders comes in and a timely mark. Gets the knock in the shin, but takes the mark. Seconds tick away. 23-minute mark. All goes in short, out to the pocket. Casey's there. Sanders appears to be in some sort of trouble with that shin. Out towards the wing it goes. Over the top of the head of Kinnear. Kinnear and Miles. Kinnear on the half-back flank as he takes it. Breaks clear, goes short, looking for Ebert. Ebert pulls it in one-handed. Now the long hand pass towards Whiteman. The boundary line is there. Sanders tries to head him off. Whiteman back. In towards the forward line, brought down by Nelson from behind. Players throw themselves out of the pack and the free kick will go the way of Granger for being pushed in the back. 16-13 Sturt, 8-14 Port. David Granger can narrow the gap. 24-minute mark now with this final term. The kick on the way, Granger makes no mistake and has put it through for 4 points to Port Adelaide, and it hardly raises a cheer. Port Adelaide move on now to 9 goals, 14. Sturt 16-13, second goal to David Granger.
Yes, as you said, Ted, hardly raises a cheer. The big crowd now streaming out of the ground, 24 minutes into the final. It's Sturt's year, and what a wonderful year it's been. A fight back from adversity. Everything went wrong for them, but they've gutsed it out in great style, and it's theirs for the keeping.
Tap away by Sims to Nunan. The hand pass smothered, back to Sims. Looks for Howard. Body work still going on. Players aren't giving this one away. Jackman on the ground. His hand pass is latched onto by Tony Lloyd. Sets up towards a pass. Davies there on his own. 35 to 40 metres out from goal and almost straight in front. The time clock says 25 minutes now of this final term. Time on only to be played, and my estimate would be 4 to 5 minutes. Rick Davies. He's played such a wonderful game. 17th kick and 14th mark. Our statistician Chris Day informs us as Davies lines up now. The kick is on the way. Goes close to the goal post, but through for 4 points. Davies' first goal, and Sturt progress on the scoreboard to 17 goals, 13, leading Port Adelaide 9 goals, 14.
Well, the Sturt champion has certainly done his team proud in the final. Perhaps his form has just been a little below his best in recent matches, but he's lifted magnificently in this final game. And he and Klomp, as I mentioned earlier, would have to be the 2 best men on the ground. But full marks to every Sturt player. They've pulled their weight, they've tackled fiercely, they've run, and they've run until their legs wouldn't carry them. And the results on the board, 17-13 to 9-14.
Centre bounce again. Nat and Sims. Sims gets the tap away. Puklisha's there. Weaves out of trouble. Over half forward, the ball goes. Knocked away by Lauder. Grabbed by Whiteman. Tackled by Walk. Back in. Whiteman sets it up, and Whiteman puts through a belated point. I was going to call that a goal. It looked to be a certainty. A point. Port Adelaide now 9-15, trailing Sturt 17-13. Colin Casey to kick in.
The kick in by Casey, coming in short now. It's dropping quickly. Nat flies. Bagshaw back there for the Blues. Turns beautifully out of trouble. The short pass underway to Miles, out in front of that player where he needs it. If it sits up, they're in business. Chased now by Kinnear. Miles still can't pick it up. Bounces into the arms of Kinnear. Port Adelaide come away through that player. The left foot kick to Phillips, but it's intercepted by Cale on the half-forward left flank. Almost up to centre wing as Cale booms one out now to Whiteman, takes the mark. Watman, a brilliant start, kicked 2 goals in the first quarter, but he, like most Port Adelaide players, have been subdued by the Sturt machine. Gerlach slipped out a handball, it comes unstuck. Lloyd takes it away in the centre of the ground. Barton still running on strongly for Sturt. Has the ball at centre wing, goes short to Bagshaw, throws himself at the ball. Look at him, fatigued, getting gingerly to his feet. He's put everything he's got into the Sturt victory, and he's done it well. 15th kick to Paul Bagshaw. It's going towards their half-forward line, into towards the forward pocket. Off the fingers it comes in defence. Running on is Kale. The kick is going right across ground and will go out of bounds in their full forward left pocket of Sturt. 17-13 to 9-15. 115 to 69. The crowd streaming away down the boulevards as the result is not in doubt. Nunan across to Murphy. Murphy hooks it back over his shoulder. Chasing it into the pocket is Graham. Won't get there. Evans as well in the scene, but it's out of bounds, full forward right pocket.
Well, he did ask for people not to go on the ground at the end of the game, Ian, but there are so many kids inside the fence now that that's the impossible dream. Off hands, it comes in short towards Howard. Howard across towards Barton. Finally again, Nunan in the forward pocket. Takes the heavy one from Berrier. And the mark paid to Mick Nunan. 25 metres out from goal and a 45-degree angle. 3 minutes of time on played now. Mickey Noonan's kicked 1 goal so far. Sting gone out of the game. Sturt running on. Noonan's kick. Has he dragged it too far? He has. 1 point only. Sturt 17-14 now, leading Port 9-15. 8 goals, bar 1 point the difference between the two sides. 4-minute mark at the time on period. 29 minutes played. And I'm sure you'll know when the siren sounds. Tim Evans walked the kick because Greg Wild was too close to the kick-off line. This time he kicks round the grandstand side. Ian Ferrier there. Doesn't complete the mark. He does complete the mark. Towards the centre of the ground it goes. Bergen there with James. Enright it was, cross towards James, his hand pass back towards Kale, Kale back to James, but it's Sanders who intercepts, kicks out wide, Kinnear dropping back and takes the running mark. In short, Daryl Kale from the left half forward flank now, Port going into attack towards White, hits him on the chest. 50 metres out from goal. Port kicking towards the golf course end, but against the breeze. Port 9-15, trailing Sturt 17-14.
The sands of 1976 running out now as White's kick goes off the side of his boot and has been well marked by Tony Bergen at centre half forward. Slowing play down. Sturt have got all the time in the world. They've got the rest of 1976 to think about it. It's Bergen's kick back towards the centre of the ground. Murphy up over the top of Nat. In comes Klomp. Still won't stop running. Socks down. He's been trapped up twice in the last quarter, but still battling his hand out. 3 against 1 there. Over the top barrier. Slips it across to Paul Pleasure. Paul Pleasure heads towards goal now. Hooks the ball. Gerlach getting underneath it. Over the top. Casey destroys. His partner there in the sports store. Nelson on top, but he can't pick it up. White goes in as well. Casey throws himself on the ball. And once again, umpire Foster comes into bounce at centre half forward. 5 minutes of time on in the last quarter of 1976. Must be very, very close to the final siren. And a big crowd, a record crowd, must absolute wonder at the fine performance put up by Sturt. But can hardly get a kick away, he's so tired. Poor Pleasure, the handball back to Jackman. Jackman has got... Enright, sorry. Clear there on the half-forward line. Through comes Watman, tries to crash his way clear, breaks the tackle, puts it in high towards goal. Cunningham back there and takes the mark, I think. Is he going to be paid? If so, he'll play on into the open goal. He just raises enough energy to put it across, and it's a goal. There's the siren. All over for 1976. A great win to the Double Blues. 17 goals 14 to 10 goals 15. And the underdog in the final has got up to take off the premiership, and despite the plea for nobody on the arena, there are thousands of spectators now. A big ring around. Paul Bagshaw there, very happy indeed. Jack Odie out there with him. Is it Jack Odie's finest performance? to get his side into the grand final and then take it away. But it's been a great win. It's led by Sturt Rucks. Brilliant perform of Rick Davies, Klomp at centre half forward. Look at the smile on Bagshaw's face.
Well done, Paul Bagshaw. Well, you've played in 6 of them now, Paul. Would that be the best or the hardest?
6 of them, 7 of them.
7 of them, I beg your pardon.
Oh, yes.
But, Paul, you're the underdogs, and what a fine performance.
Yes, it was, as I said out there, it's Sturt's finest hour, and I'm proudest man in South Australia at the moment.
And how do you feel, though? Your legs tired?
Oh, yeah, they were tired, but we could see we had it under control, and when you can see that, you just go and go.
That's right, you're lifted by it.
Yeah.
Tell me, Paul, do you feel now that the hard matches you had through the finals helped you in the finals?
I think it did. I think it did in the end. We had a look at Port's side, and they were very inexperienced, we found, in grand finals. There were only about 5 of them that had played in the grand final. There was only 4 of us that hadn't. And we felt we had equal to their ability, for sure.
Yeah, nothing went right for you before the finals. You had injuries galore and you makeshifted your side around, you still come up. A triumph for Jack Odie?
Oh, yes, he's a magnificent coach. He's got all the brains of football, and, I'm just glad I'm under him.
Three-quarter time, I could see him out there giving a bit of a pep talk. What was he saying at that three-quarter time interval?
Run the ball and run. That was all.
Run.
No tricky stuff, just run the ball, and we've got to work hard.
Paul, I know it was a great team performance, everyone played well, but surely you'd like to single out a couple of players who played magnificently?
Rick Davies took the rucks apart, I felt, and I thought Nigel Walk played pretty well in the back pocket.
Yeah. What about Robert Klomp at centre half forward?
Yeah, Klompy did his job. He started to lose the legs in the end. It surprised me, actually, because I thought he was a strong young fella.
I think I saw you grab for the toes there at one stage too,
well, I usually grab for the toes.
Paul, at 30 years of age, with that sort of win behind you, you must go on next season, still playing great football?
Oh, yes, I'll go next season for sure.
But in the meantime, you've got the premiership to celebrate.
Yeah, I'm going to have a big rest.
Congratulations, a wonderful performance, Paul Bagshaw. Be a very, very proud man, Neville.
Very pleased, Ian, very pleased. We're as happy as can be.
Did you expect such a mammoth win, Neville?
Not a mammoth win, no. We expected a very, very hard game, which it was. But we were confident all the way through.
Coming into that last quarter, when you had a 3-goal lead, do you think you were going to win it at that stage?
Oh, we were fairly confident, but we knew that they would run all day. We had to keep going. The boys did it magnificently.
If anything, I think Sturt ran on a lot better.
Oh, what about that third quarter?
Oh, magnificent.
Was it marvellous?
As a selector, did you like to pull out anybody and single out any of your players?
No, they're all magnificent, even the boys on the sidelines.
Neville, thanks for talking to us. Well, there it is, Greg Wild with the cup astride. Nigel Walk there. Colin Casey. Big Colin, come over. Well played.
Thanks,
what do you think?
What a great bunch of footballers.
Must have been one of the Sturt's greatest performances?
I would say probably the greatest in the club's history, I think.
And how did you feel having to stand big round or Gerlach today?
Confident with players like I've got in front of me, you've got to be confident.
And I don't think you gave, what did he kick? He kicked
one
goal?
Kicked one in the second quarter. And that was unfortunate.
And what about the rest of the Sturt team?
I don't think you can find an adjective to describe them. They were colossal. Fantastic. You can go right through, Ian.
You reckon the Nelson Casey Sports Tour will see a few people during the week?
I think it's closed.
It's closed. You're going to close it for a week?
No, we'll be open as usual, Ian. No worries.
Good man. Well played, Colin Casey. Well, what do you think of it, Ross?
Well, what more can you say than just tremendous?
You look excited.
I am, yeah.
The only thing that's fine that's happened to you all season is getting married.
That's right, yeah. Well, that's had to take second precedence.
And even then it's like that.
That's right, yeah.
Well,
great effort, and our last 3 weeks have been, I think, truly great for football.
Have you ever known Sturt to suffer such adversity and fight back so well?
No, I think it'd be a long, long time before anything like that's ever repeated, and I believe the team has done exceptionally well.
Ross, can you attribute the finals to anything in particular, the great effort in the final?
Just a keen desire to win premiership.
Yeah. And Jack Odie once again pulling all the masters.
Well, obviously, we have the best coach in probably the world.
Ross, you've cooperated tremendously with Channel 7 throughout the season. We've certainly appreciated it.
Thank you very much.
And we hope you have the big celebration tonight. You're going to be sore in the morning.
Probably sore on Tuesday still, I would say.
Russ Toohey, Secretary Manager of the Sturt Football Club. A magnificent game. Best on ground. You must be happy.
Very happy, Ian, yes. 12 months is a long time to get in your body.
and then all explode in one day, and I think that's what's happened today with everybody. Every player on the ground had a job to do and did it to the full tee.
Rick, have you ever played in a Sturt side that fought so tenaciously as they did today?
Oh, Sturt always fight in every game.
Yeah, but they were the underdogs. They'd had to meet adversity right throughout the finals, and
I think the injuries made it such a good fight. I think that we were down against Norwood in the first quarter, and from that time on, we seemed to, every play was a bit different to have during the year.
Your own personal game, perhaps your form has been a little bit below what you wanted to over the last couple of weeks, but
yes.
Today, magnificent. What was the difference?
Well, a final,
yeah.
Different. The players keyed up. We've had meetings, training, and it's been fantastic. And I think that, it just comes to a head. It's like everything, isn't it? Like, it comes to a head. And every player on the ground was simply superb today.
Pre-match, did Jacko, do you have any final words? Did you have a team meeting on Friday night or anything?
We had a team meeting last night, and we just discussed a few things, a few small things. And today, everything fell into place as we planned.
We would have to agree with you. What is it for now, Rick? What are you going to do from here on in? Apart from tonight, get hopelessly slow?
Well, I'd say that Dad can expect me home next Friday.
Next Friday. Casey and Nelson reckon they're closing the sports store for a week.
I don't know what they're going to do.
What about that stump jump plough? That's finished, is it?
Oh, yeah, that's all finished.
Congratulations, Rick. A magnificent performance.
Thank you very much.
Rick Davies, third champion. Congratulations, Robert. A magnificent performance. Have you ever been so excited?
No, Ian, I must say it's one of the longest games I've ever played. I don't know, it's difficult to just put into words, how you feel out there, because even when you've got the break, 3 or 4 goals, you know that it's not much when the ball's run on well. And Port a couple of times did get the ball running well, and it was just that I think we've had a bit of pressure on them, but they just couldn't capitalise in a couple of cases in the third quarter, and it gave us a handy lead at 3/4 time, and we just ran, and we're very pleased with the result.
Robert, you look absolutely dead on your feet. I noticed you grabbed for the legs in the last quarter. Did you cramp up a bit?
Several times, Ian.
Several times, and you just kept on running.
Well, you've got to. There's not much you can do. In the grand final, you've got no chance to get it back once those 2 hours are over, so you just drive yourself, and boy, is it worth it.
Is this your first or second final?
No, second grand final.
This is the second one.
Yep.
Can you compare the two as far as personal satisfaction is concerned?
Well, this one, I feel that much happier with it, because
being the underdog, perhaps.
Being the underdog, and we've had to fight all the way. We had a couple of bad matches where we didn't run on. That was the book.
What was that you said, Michael? Klomp is writing a book. Writing a book about it. He's telling us the story. But let him finish for a moment. We'll get the second chapter on to Mickey Nunan. Yeah.
Well, you know yourself, Ian, that not many people gave us much hope, especially 3 weeks ago. And we came home against Norwood. We had to fight back there, and it made us very happy because we had to come from behind. And the same with Glenorg. We snuck home there. And then people were saying all through the week that the 2 games would tired us out too much, that we wouldn't have had the legs.
Trying to psych you, perhaps.
Well, I don't know what it was, but it was just a magnificent team effort from everybody.
Right. Robert, when did you finally realise, when did you first realise that the premiership was yours? Did you think before the bell?
I thought when time on started and we're 8 goals up or 7 or 8 up, I thought we've got it, but you never know. Your heart's in your throat, and you just keep going till the end, and when the siren goes, that's it.
Robert, thanks for talking to us. You're a very tired player, but a very happy one, and a magnificent personal effort.
Thanks very much, Ian.
Over to Mickey Nunan. Come on, Michael, you're telling us he's writing a book. How about getting the second chapter out of those little legs of yours? What do you reckon?
Well, I'd make 2 points about the whole final series.
What's that?
First one was probably the greatest effort that any football club has performed in a final series, and that was performed over the last 3 weeks by this club. And the second point was it's probably one of the best leadership efforts from a captain I've ever seen in my life today by Paul Bagshaw.
A wonderful performance. A man 30 years of age, still playing with the enthusiasm of a kid 15, isn't he?
Age has got nothing to do with it. Ask Murph.
Well, what about Murph? A fine performance by Murph. Mickey, how many finals is that now that you've played in?
4.
4? You won them?
Won them all.
Won them all. And do you feel that's perhaps the finest hour of the Sturt Club is those 4 finals?
I think we made history today.
You made history today. Have you ever seen a Sturt side that tackled as fiercely as this one has done?
Well, it's a matter of wanting the ball and doing everything correct in the endeavour to get it. Tackling's a necessary part of football. And I think you saw some really good, by both sides, blocking off the boot and good tackling.
Yeah. Mickey, what about school on Monday? Do you think you'll make it?
No, I'm not a school teacher at the moment.
What are you doing at the moment? I'm sorry.
I'm with the Department of Tourism, Recreation and Sport.
Oh, that's right. I beg your pardon. Giving you the week off? Mr.
No.
Casey's a pretty good fella, isn't he?
Yeah, I think we've got a few bottles of champagne lined up.
Got one or two. Mickey, congratulations. Well done. You're a very tired fellow, but thanks for talking to us.
Thanks, Ian.
John, stop smiling so much.
Very difficult to stop smiling tonight, Ian, after that performance.
Over the last 2 or 3 weeks, Sturt selectors have had big headaches, John, and you've got out of it. How did you go about it?
Well, we had to sit down and do a lot of thinking because we lost a few valuable players with injury, but the thing was we put in some players and gave them a job to do and they responded magnificently. Fellows like young Philip Sanders, I thought his game today was a wonderful game of discipline on a half-back flank. And a couple of other players have responded very well.
Rick Davies and Robert Klomp, fine performances?
I've never seen a better performance than Rick Davies today, in a final that is. I can't remember a player who really dominated the game so much as he did for the first half, well, really first 3 quarters.
With using the breeze towards the full forward. Davies up from behind.
Towards centre wing it goes again. Nat in front. Davies from behind.
Corns high and a great mark to Davies.
Davies!
Davies with an opportunity. You can see his acceleration. That is fantastic power.
Jack taught Rick how to play the back-playing ruckman's role extremely well, and when he started to sort of hover around centre half back in what I class as my territory, taking mark after mark after mark, I sort of thought, well, this is not on. And so quite often we used to tell Rick to clear off and go down to the forward lines and see if he can kick a couple of goals and give us boys down here an opportunity to get a catch and a kick.
Oops, 13. 13 to the jumbo Prince.
Davies goes back, up he goes. Oh, he's got it. Oh, he's kicked it. How did he get it?
Looks good. Straight through. 15 goals to Davies. Look at the jumbo Prince. Still chewing the chewy. What a great effort he's done.